This is Mark Olson.
And Greg Olson from Crumweedy.
We created a special deal just for you. Receive a luxury cruise vacation for two with a qualifying purchase. A great roof, siding, or windows, and a vacation. Call us and start packing now.
Let's book your new roof or siding. We'll do a great job, and you'll get the Crumweedy promise of installation that's up to manufacturer specifications, so your warranty is intact.
And receive a luxury cruise for two as a thank you.
Some restrictions apply, and we only have so many vacations to give, so call now.
We fix roof problems, and you get the cruise.
Call Crumweedy.
630-595-8020. 630-595-8020.
Go to myroofisneedy.com today. myroofisneedy.com.
It is 5:10, and let's get an update on the roads this early morning in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. We get the very latest with Jim Telemonte. Good morning, Jim.
Good morning, Mike. Fire crews have been busy in Westmont for a few hours now. There's been a blaze in an apartment building, a multi-alarm fire, 6700 block of Park Lane. This is west of Cass, not far from 67th Street. On the expressways and tollways, things look pretty good right now. There is road work on the outbound Ryan, 87th to the split again this morning. 3 left lanes are closed till 6 a.m. The Indiana Toll Road has work in both directions between near Central Avenue and State Road 149. There's a right lane closure each way till 6 p.m. Sunday. Otherwise, right now, the expressways and tollways look great. Traffic is the service of Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. Rocket Mortgage is simple, so you can understand the details. Be sure you're getting the right mortgage. Apply simply, understand fully, mortgage confidently. Visit rocketmortgage.com today. Licensed in all 50 states, equal housing lender, and MLS number 3030. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer starts next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast with our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Today, cloudy and breezy, high 45. Tonight, mainly cloudy with a late night flurry around, low 25. Breezy tomorrow with clouds and sun, high 28, with temperatures falling into the middle teens. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
32 at O'Hare, 32 along the lakefront. Your next news update is at 5:30, and Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy starts now on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Real Estate Revealed with Randy Barcella, Sunday mornings starting at 8.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy, and I'm a little bit concerned. So if anybody has seen El Gallito, Luis Gutierrez, please let us know. I want to put an APB out for him. I'm worried.
What happened?
What are you talking about? He fled the State of the Union speech before it was over, and
did he have a pickup car waiting for him outside?
I don't know. I'm very concerned about him. I don't know what happened. I hope it's not some kind of emergency. You know, I don't know. Do you think maybe it was the nature of what was happening at that point in the speech that caused him to flee, or did he leave his iron on at home? I'm not sure. I just want to make sure he's okay.
You leave the stove on, and that's, you get a panic attack. You got to run home. You don't want your house to catch on
fire. Well, maybe there's a clue or two to be had based on where Trump was in his State of the Union address when El Gallito left.
To young Americans who shed their blood on the shores of Normandy and the fields beyond, and others who went down in the waters of the Pacific and the skies all over Asia. And freedom stands tall over one more monument. This one, this capital, this living monument. This is the monument to the American people.
All right, now wait for it. Now this is where Gutierrez leaves. This is where he leaves.
Does he throw up his arms like, ah! I don't know.
Is there any clue that you can distill from the moment where Gutierrez left that you think may be instructive for us?
I don't think he made a lot of noise, so he didn't draw any attention to himself because all the Democrats sat on their hands.
Yeah. I guess it maybe. I mean, again, assuming that it wasn't like a real estate development emergency or something related
Maybe
to
something
his
happened
business.
in Puerto Rico.
Right. He just got a delivery that he was going to ship down to San Juan.
San Juan.
Maybe it was the USA chanting. Could that have so repelled him that he felt compelled to flee?
No, he just, Trump wants to end a path, or he wants to end chain migration.
Under our plan, we focus on the immediate family by limiting sponsorships to spouses and minor children.
Yeah, but that's not when he fled. So it's curious. The timing of it. I don't want to make more of it than it is, but members of Congress chanting USA, USA after rather rousing words from the president about our history and about the Capitol building being a monument to the American people and to the idea of self-governance. And then Gutierrez scurries out of the room.
Was it sure wasn't a page?
No,
or an intern? Because, he's short like that.
Yeah, no, I looked fairly closely, and other people picked up on this, too.
Oh.
It was not without notice. Oh, good. Casper in West Chicago. You're on Chicago's Morning Answer. Hi, Casper.
Hi, good morning. Hi, good morning, Dan.
Morning.
Morning.
Do you have a clue as to why Gutierrez fled the chamber?
No, I want to make two comments about what the president said yesterday. The first one is about the border security and the wall. He says that the border security and the wall is important to protect the works and the workers in this country, and that is misleading because the main reason why they have work here is because the business people is giving them work.
Okay.
Not because there is no security or a wall in the border.
Uh-huh.
That's the first thing. That is very, very misleading. And if you don't do anything about the hiding in this country about illegals, you won't never finish this. So
okay, I agree with that.
This is the first thing.
Okay.
That is the first thing. The second thing is when he says that the family sponsors. When you came to this country and you got the citizenship, you could get immediately to fix the papers of your fathers and your sons. Nobody else. You could sponsor brothers and cousins, but they have to go to the end of the line and make all the stuff, wait about 22 years to get the papers. So that is very, very misleading.
Hold on a second, Casper. Is that what happened with the terrorist attacker in New York who had brought some dozen plus members of his family over? They all waited 23 years.
I really want you to call somebody who really knows the law and just stop misleading the people.
Thanks for the call, Casper. I got your point. I appreciate it. Yeah, I don't think.
Well, he proposed a 12-year waiting period for citizenship for dreamers that are here.
So it's a process. I mean, look, this was not a policy speech.
No.
There was nothing new. There was no detail. This was Trump's storytelling, and I thought it was an interesting choice, and I thought it was effective.
Oh, he was great. How he intervened personal stories. So he'd talk about the immigration problem, and then he'd point out, two family members who lost their daughters to that street gang in New York.
A lot of guests of the president and the first lady, and all had their stories told in a pretty compelling way, and we'll get to them. Mark in Chicago. You're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, good morning, Dan and Amy. When they started chanting USA, maybe Gutierrez left to go burn an American flag. Didn't he do that with the FALN at one time?
It's possible. It's possible. Thanks for the call, Mark. And the FALN, thanks for the call, Mark. That's a good point, too. Maybe there was a terrorist member of the FALN who was without a ride or something home.
Well,
I have to leave early,
wanted to try to blow up the merchandise mart again.
Yeah.
And try to kill some people from Channel 5.
I don't know if they roomed together, but maybe it's like, I can't meet you after the state union. Let's grab a drink now. Let's carpool back to our place in Georgetown. I mean, there's all kinds of possibilities. I just thought it was an interesting moment, particularly since Illinois tied California, as I understand it, for the most number of Democrats who boycotted the speech. We had Danny Davis, we had your Bobby Rush.
Yeah, but they were together at this function last night. That we'll play that audio for you later because it's fantastic.
Right, so they boycotted.
Well, but they still had a viewing party with other angry Democrats.
So we had Danny Davis, your Bobby Rush, and your Jan Schakowsky. And then California had your Maxine Waters, No Justice, No Peace Maxine, your Barbara Lee, and your Juan Vargas. So
One of what to you?
3 to 3.
3 to 3, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty good since California has 4 times our population.
Connect with Dan and Amy on the AM 560 The Answer mobile app. Just text the word app to 64636 to download the app today.
Coming up, Melania Trump, what she wore and why she arrived alone, and why is that a bad thing? But first, here's your forecast today. Really breezy out there. You have to wait for it to get warmer. It's 23 degrees right now. We're going to go up to a high of 48. And then tomorrow, back to reality, a high of 28 with some clouds and sun. Let's get into the alarm detection systems traffic center. Here's Jim Telemonte.
Good morning, Amy. Good morning, Dan. Have a delay on the Metro Union Pacific North line this morning. Actually, it's a cancellation. There's a mechanical problem. Train 328, which is scheduled to leave Waukegan at 7:50. Later this morning, that train is not going to operate today. Metrorail.com has particulars on delays and cancellations. Expressways and tollways look pretty good. No problems. Report on the Haydens, Kennedy, the Eisenhower, the Stevenson, or the inbound Ryan. Outbound, there is road work 87th to the split. The 3 left lanes. No delay, though. I-57 is fine. Bishop Ford still good. Get a little pocket of congestion approaching the merge. Tollways all clear. No delays to report on I-80 or Northwest Indiana and Westmont. There's a multi-alarm apartment blaze. Westmont Village Apartments affecting the 6700 block of Park Lane west of Cass. Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
As flu season approaches, you know how to protect yourself against colds and viruses, but you know how to protect your computer network. Ransomware, viruses, hacks, it can stop your company's computer network in an instant. Is your network safe and protected? Do these questions loom over your head every day? Well, you should make an appointment with Turnkey IT. Turnkey IT provides frontline security for your network and its data, so if there is an email attachment opened in error or network intruder, Turnkey IT immediately knows and fixes the problem. They'll arm your network with cutting-edge antivirus, disaster recovery, and proactive monitoring. Over the phone or in person, Turnkey IT is your network safeguard against this season's worst bugs. See what a dose of Turnkey's proactive support can do for you. It's easy. Visit turnkey.pro. That's turnkey.pro.
Policies issued by American General Life Insurance Company, Houston, Texas. Not available in all states. For details, visit AIGdirect.com.
If you're young and healthy, you don't need life insurance, right? Yeah, that's what I used to think, too. Until my brother died at 38. Joe left his wife with 2 kids, a mortgage, and a stack of bills she couldn't pay. Mary had to sell the house and move everybody into this tiny 2-bedroom apartment just to make ends meet. I never want to do that to my wife, so I got life insurance. I called AIG Direct and was really surprised how affordable it is. Just $14 a month for $250,000 of term life coverage. Listen, if you have a family, you should seriously think about getting life insurance. You'll feel a lot better having it, trust me.
Call AIG Direct for a free, no-obligation quote. The call takes less than 5 minutes, and you could save up to 70%. Call now, 1-800-600-5451. That's 1-800-600-5451. 1-800-600-5451.
Hi, I'm Andrea Kashava, owner of Tulane & Associates, an accounting and tax service in Elk Grove Village. If you're a small business, feeling snubbed or overcharged by your current accounting firm, I invite you to give us a try. You shouldn't have to feel overlooked by your current tax accountant because you're a small business. Small businesses and individuals are my specialty. I will always treat you and your business with respect, and we'll take care of as much or as little as you'd like us to do. From payroll to sales taxes, financial statements to business and personal taxes, projections, or bookkeeping services. Call Tulane & Associates at 847-952-1510 or visit TulaneandAssociates.com. That's THULIN, Tulane & Associates. Get a no-cost 1-hour initial consultation that could change the way you do business. Call 847-952-1510. That's 847-952-1510.
This is Dan Proft with 60 Seconds of Sanity, sponsored by Upstream-Ideas.com. Trump's proposal on DACA, summarily pronounced DOA by Congressional Dems, improved the GOP's electoral chances in November bigly. Here's how. First, by seeing a path to citizenship for 800,000 DACA recipients and raising the Democrats a million more, Trump took Schumer's and Pelosi's mascots away from them. If you're offered the prospect of a path to citizenship, are you willing to pass on your chance to pursue the left's open borders fantasy? Second, by providing a path even for those who were eligible but didn't seek DACA designation, Trump outflanked the Democrats on the issues of fairness, good faith, and empathy. Third, Trump positioned himself with 70% of Americans on the immigration issues punch list, normalizing DACA designees, building the wall, prioritizing based on skills, and punishing sanctuary cities and states. Trump has put congressional Democrats in God's little acre. If they cut a deal, Trump is the pragmatic, reasonable businessman who got a decent bipartisan deal done. If they don't cut a deal, Trump is the pragmatic, reasonable businessman foiled by inflexible Democrats whom he met more than halfway. The art of this deal is Trump has painted Democrats into a corner.
AM 560, The Answer.
This is a democracy, and we will make democracy work.
This is how please, if anybody, again, assuming that it was a family emergency, please let us know if you hear that El Gaito is okay, everything's fine with the family, because I can't think of another reason why he would have left during Trump's State of the Union speech when people were chanting USA, USA.
And somebody else just dropped out of the 4th congressional race, besides Joe Poco, Gropo, Moreno. Hold on, there's only 3 candidates left. Doesn't matter. A name you've never heard of.
Yeah,
but now they're down to 3.
Not Chewy Garcia.
No,
so
Chewy Garcia's it.
That's the only thing that matters. You wanted to make a comment on Melania's.
Oh, yeah. Well, her entrance, because
resplendent white suit.
Well, yeah, that was a Christian Dior, a number white pantsuit that she was wearing.
That.
Okay, yeah, you knew that. Yeah. But seriously, when she walked in, didn't it take your breath away? Everyone that we were at the Avante banquets, we all went, oh,
we did. Even your eyes perked up because I was looking at you, looking at her.
You know,
and I went, wow.
You know why I was looking? Because I'm like, I have the exact same suit.
I should have worn that tonight. That's what you were thinking.
Wouldn't it have been fun? I hope they do this maybe the next State of the Union. If Melania and the president wear the same suit to the State of the Union address.
That would be awesome.
They do like a his and hers.
Well, it was a big deal because she came to the White House without him. She drove a separate car. But what CNN and everybody didn't know is that she went with her guests that she invited. And unlike inviting 1 guest or 2 guests, she had 15 guests with her.
There are a lot of guests.
Right. So she went with them, and then he went. But guess what? They drove home together. Everything's fine. I mean, they haven't been seen publicly since New Year's Eve, and that's when the Stormy Daniels thing came out.
All right. Okay. There's not love on the rocks quite yet.
No,
much
they
to the
drove home
chagrin
together, okay?
Of the D.C. press corps. Greg and Schomburg, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, Dan and Amy. Dan, are you ready?
I think so.
Dan, it was so good.
How good was it?
It was so good that Amy sat there last night looking at Donald Trump's blonde hair and thought, how could I ever have criticized a fellow natural blonde?
Oh.
Wow.
Pretty good. That's how good it was.
So good. It was so good. Yeah. That Amy thought about, I could style my hair like Donald Trump's.
All right.
It was so good.
How good was it, Greg? And how many do we have? Okay, go ahead.
We only got 1 more. So I'll go for the good one. He kind of looks Puerto Rican to me. Okay, I'm sorry for that one, Amy. I couldn't resist it.
No.
Thanks for the call,
Greg.
Wait a minute,
that was a Reagan-esque speech, and it was a fabulous speech. And that was recording of commercial time for Trump last night, interspersing all the Democrats. And if anybody votes for those people in the midterm election, they are crazy.
Thanks for the call, Greg.
As a recovering Democrat, when I saw, all the African-American caucus, Congressional caucus, sitting on their hands when they're talking about black unemployment rates, lowest for the first time in history, and them just sitting there. They look like fools.
Well, to be fair.
I know Republicans do the same thing.
No, but let's be fair.
What?
They were told by Jay-Z they weren't allowed to stand or applaud.
Oh.
So
that's right.
It was kind of out of their hands.
By the way, because I'm speaking in non sequiturs, the candidate who dropped out of the 4th congressional race was Alderman Rape Lopez.
Okay.
Okay, just so you know.
So stipulated.
Yes.
Okay. So we like the outfit. We like.
Oh, we love the outfit, and that cute little kid Preston who sat next to her. What a story he's going to have for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
I got to sit next to Melania, and she told me about the party animal.
Well, I'll tell you what. First of all, that Preston, I know he did this great thing for
40,000
veterans.
flags. He put
Yeah.
40,000 flags on veterans' graves.
You know what I say to him?
What?
Check your white privilege, kid. That's, the other thing, just thinking about some of the indelible cutaway shots.
Yeah.
I just have 4 words for Nancy Pelosi.
Don't wear black?
No.
Don't Botox too much?
Fix it and forget it.
Oh.
Did you see that? I thought.
Yeah, I thought she was chewing gum, but then she was fixing the dentures, huh? You know they have implants now.
Tony in Siesta Key, Florida.
It was so good, I had a cigarette afterwards.
Thanks, Tony.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
How good? What? No, we won't continue that. How good was Joe Kennedy's response?
Oh, he's the new
brother.
He's the new starter of the Democratic Party. We'll
you
get
can
to
have
that.
him. 538.
And later, there's 4 other responses too, because the Democrats just couldn't have one. But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
By the way, 77 in Siesta Key yesterday. Just saying. 33 degrees, mostly cloudy skies. President Trump's first State of the Union address is a call for unity.
The state of our union is strong because our people are strong.
The president saying last night there's never been a better time to begin living the American dream and challenge Congress to tackle immigration reform and infrastructure.
Every federal dollar should be leveraged by partnering with state and local governments and, where appropriate, tapping into private sector investment to permanently fix the infrastructure deficit, and we can do it.
Democrat Congressman Joe Kennedy urged Americans to remain strong in the Democratic response.
Ladies and gentlemen, have faith. Have faith. The state of our union is hopeful, resilient, and enduring.
And Kennedy tried to explain that Democrats would have a better deal for America. Meantime, the president has ordered the U.S. military prison at Cuba's Guantanamo Bay to remain open and ready to accept enemy combatants. His predecessor, Barack Obama, tried to close that facility. Shockwaves continue to emanate from a state report on the false missile alert that scared Hawaii. A retired brigadier general saying Tuesday the worker who sent that alert had a history of believing that exercises were actual events. The general saying the employee had been a concern to higher-ups at the Emergency Management Agency for more than 10 years. McDonald's announcing plans this morning to open around 1,000 new stores around the globe and adding self-service ordering systems amid a recent strong sales report. Cubs co-owner Todd Ricketts set to become the Republican National Committee's National Finance Chair, chosen to replace Las Vegas casino mogul Steve Wynn, who resigned that post following sexual misconduct allegations. All eyes on the Illinois Capitol at lunchtime today as Governor Bruce Rauner delivers his State of the State speech. Another Chicago alderman dropping out of the race to succeed Illinois Congressman Luis Gutierrez. Southwest Side Alderman Ray Lopez announcing yesterday he'll focus on more local issues. Chicago police are investigating after a man was shot and killed by his accomplice during an attempted home invasion on the north side. Authorities say the victim and shooter were trying to break into a home last night near Eastwood and Western when they ran into family members at the front door. One of the suspects then fired shots, hitting the other home invader in the head. Thousands of Americans are getting to see a special lunar event this morning, and you can too. It's a super blue blood moon and a lunar eclipse on top of it. NASA claims this rare celestial trifecta can be best seen in its totality in the west, but right now you can get a glimpse of it here in Chicago. Illinois rolled Rutgers at the State Farm Center in Big Ten hoops last night, 91-60. Over in the Valley, Illinois State and Southern Illinois were winners. Bradley and first-place Loyola tangle tonight. Blackhawks winners over Nashville, 2-1. The news, a service of Pringles. When you stack up different flavors of Pringles, you create amazing new flavors. Stack up cheddar cheese, jalapeno, and French onion dip Pringles, and you've got yourself the 3-layer dip stack, which makes you a genius. Stack different flavors, create endless new ones with Pringles. 5:34, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher breaks down a huge win for the president.
What I would say is this is what leadership looks like. What I would say is, yep, we still got a long way to go. The government is reopened because the president didn't blink. You know what was different? It was in the messaging. You know who delivers a message like a bolt of lightning? Yeah, that guy that lives at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue these days.
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas, best beans, best roast, best coffee. AM 560's Passport to Paradise contest is open to any legal U.S. resident, age 18 or older. To enter, download the AM 560 mobile app and fill out the entry form between January 22nd and February 9th, 2018. One grand prize winner will be randomly chosen on February 12th and will receive a 7-night trip for 2 to Riviera Maya, Mexico, including round-trip airfare and a junior suite at the Secrets Maroma Beach Riviera, Cancun. Approximate retail value $3,334. Visit 560theanswer.com for complete rules.
Hey, Craig and Leslie here from In the Know. Leslie, I like to think that we're always finishing the drive to the end zone and not just blocking and tackling for our clients. We want them to be ready for the big game, their retirement.
That's right, Craig. That's why our whole team at Wealth Management Group has their game face on and is ready for 2018.
Make a tactical maneuver to make Wealth Management Group part of your financial force.
Pick Wealth Management Group as your offensive line. Visit us at investwithwmg.com and listen to In the Know Sunday mornings at 10 right here on AM 560, The Answer.
5:36 and a check of your morning roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim.
Thanks, Mike. We're now seeing delays on the inbound Ryan from 87th Street to 79th and from 18th to the Burn Circle. It's 17 minutes, 95th to downtown. Outbound 15th, there is road work from 87th to the split, 3 left lanes. Now Bishop Ford, slow going, 111th to the Merge. It's 23 minutes from 8094 to Ryan. No delays to report yet. Edens, Kennedy, the Eisenhower, Mount Stevenson, just a little congestion around Pulaski. Tollways are looking good. No delays to report in Northwest Indiana. There's a cancellation on Metro's Union Pacific North Line. Train scheduled to leave Waukegan at 7:50. Not going to operate due to mechanical problems. That's train number 328 on the Union Pacific North Line. Traffic is a service for Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. Rocket Mortgage is simple, so you can understand the details. Be sure you're getting the right mortgage. Apply simply, understand fully, mortgage confidently. Visit rocketmortgage.com today. Licensed in all 50 states, equal housing lender, NMLS number 3030. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Jim, thank you. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. A cloudy day ahead, breezy. Milder before we go back into the tank weather-wise. 48 today, flurries overnight, 27, and much colder tomorrow, high 28. Currently 32. Next news at 6. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Listen to AM 560 on your mobile device. Now available on iHeartRadio. Online at iHeartRadio.com.
Let not your heart be troubled. Listen to me, Sean Hannity. I'll have the latest news and what it all means for you. It's coming up at 2 right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, getting your reaction to the President's State of the Union address last night, as well as the Democrats' varied responses. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. We
want to thank everyone that came to Avante Banquets last night.
Oh, yeah.
Fox River Grove.
That was great.
Wonderful turnout.
That was
Andy
great.
John.
Who's
in charge
Avante
until
Banquet.
we realized that his dad, George, is really in charge. That's his Yoda. Andy John, who plays on a minor role on Chicago Fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was great. It's a cool space. I hadn't been up there before. Avante Banquets in Fox River Grove, right on Northwest Highway, Route 14 there. And you think, I know what you're thinking, like, oh, Fox River Grove, you don't live up that way. Like, oh, that's where Christ lost his sandals. And it's not bad.
No.
It's not bad. I mean, you're
Short drive.
It's off 53, and it's just like
just
a straight
north of
shot on
Barrington.
Northwest Highway, and it's so it actually is
And the
pretty
food was
accessible.
wonderful.
I got back. It wasn't traffic at that time, of course, because you're talking about like 10:30 at night, but it only took me like 35 minutes to get back to the city, so it wasn't bad. So no, it was a great time.
Food
nice
was
space.
wonderful. Yes.
Great people. Appreciate all of listeners who came out to get pictures with Amy.
No, to get pictures with Dan. You should see I have women come up to me every time we have an event. And this one lady, all right, two things. Don't get mad, though. Don't kill the messenger. One lady wanted me to have you date her niece.
Yeah.
Which is, I said, you know what? I don't broker dates for him.
Yeah.
So he's sitting right there. Go ask him. Do you have a picture of her? She's like, oh, yes. And I saw, I did a pre-approval. I said, wonderful, but what's inside? What's in the heart?
That's right.
I need to know.
Exactly.
So I got rid of that. And then the other lady came up to me and said, she showed me a picture because you're debating Donna Brazil.
Yeah, March 22nd.
Yeah, at the Meadows Club in Rolling Meadows.
Oh, is that where it is? Okay, good.
Yeah, that's where you're
to know,
going.
good to
and
know.
I'll be going too, and I'm not paying for a ticket. But she said the picture of you with Donna, there is a placard at every table. She doesn't like that picture of you. She thought you looked a little pudgy, and she thinks you with a beard looks much better. So she thought that we should reshoot a picture of you with your beard, and that's more slenderizing for you. And I said,
that's why I grew
I'll get on that. Thanks.
Yeah. Okay.
People say weird things.
Well, I mean,
but
I
but I appreciate everyone.
Oh, yeah, the constructive feedback.
One
sure.
lady came up to me and said, only you could pull off wax jeans at an event where it's business casual. And then I said, I didn't know it was business casual.
What are wax jeans?
I wear wax jeans, the jeans that I had on.
What's a wax jean?
A wax jean are jeans that are covered with wax, and you can't dry clean them. The way you clean them is you turn them inside out, and you put them in your freezer for 48 hours, and the smell goes away. They're wax jeans. The brown wax jeans.
Well, why do you wear? What's the attraction? Why wax? What's the attraction?
I don't know. There's something different. They're
stylish.
a step up of jeans.
Is that something Melania Trump would wear?
Well, Melania was wearing my Christian Dior all white pantsuit that I lent her, so I couldn't wear it, so I just went with the wax jeans.
Understood. Now, back to the State of the Union address. Before we get to Democrats' response, because it was really something. Honestly, if there was a more uplifting, triumphant moment that has occurred in a State of the Union address than that kid from North Korea holding up his crutches in defiance and as a testament to freedom. I mean, it was William Wallace quality. I've never quite seen anything like it. And this was some of Trump's best storytelling of the night, and the reaction in the chamber was appropriate. This is the story of
Ji Sung Ho.
Correct.
I got it right because I didn't want you to make fun of me. Because, I mean, it's amazing. He kept his crutches all this year. He fell down, got ran over by a train, from fatigue, from being exhausted from malnourishment.
The president sets it up, and
we'll let him tell it.
Yeah, and but this was it.
I cried, though.
This was emblematic of the entire speech. This was storytelling to illustrate
oppression
values.
and a dictatorship.
But the point of the storytelling was to illustrate values and policies that flow from values, which I thought was effective.
His name is Mr. Ji Sung Ho. In 1996, Sung Ho was a starving boy in North Korea. One day he tried to steal coal from a railroad car to barter for a few scraps of food, which were very hard to get. In the process, he passed out on the train tracks, exhausted from hunger. He woke up as a train ran over his limbs. He then endured multiple amputations without anything to dull the pain or the hurt. His brother and sister gave what little food they had to help him recover and ate dirt themselves, permanently stunting their own growth. Later, he was tortured by North Korean authorities after returning from a brief visit to China. His tormentors wanted to know if he'd met any Christians. He had, and he resolved after that to be free. Sung Ho traveled thousands of miles on crutches all across China and Southeast Asia to freedom. Most of his family followed. His father was caught trying to escape and was tortured to death Today, he lives in Seoul, where he rescues other defectors and broadcasts into North Korea what the regime fears most, the truth. Today, he has a new leg, but Sung Ho, I understand you still keep those old crutches as a reminder of how far you've come. Your great sacrifice is an inspiration to us all. Please, thank you.
And he just kept pumping those crutches. It was really powerful. It was a palpable moment, and honestly, I can't think of a more, I don't know, just what I said. I guess a more triumphant moment in a State of the Union address, during a State of the Union address, than that. Not offhand.
And I love too that he talked about North Korea, but he never said the little dictator's name. He never mentioned once Kim Jong-un. Well, I'm just saying he didn't dummy it down and get into like a street fight with him, which is he's done on Twitter. It was all classy, presidential, and it was likable. I mean, hopefully he set a tone for his new presidency going forward. And I hope he stays off Twitter.
Steve on 88, speaking of Twitter, tweeted, "It was so good, the speech. Children across the country are taking crutches to school today." That's how good it was. Kent.
I can't laugh at that.
Well, that was a moment. That was. Yeah, it was. And the story, it just when you thought, oh my gosh, that's a terrible story, and then it continues to get worse and worse and worse. What eating? What? Okay. Wow. Kent and Addison, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, good morning, guys. The way the Democrats reacted, almost to me is the same way that the Department of Justice acted about this memo, saying how it would damage national security, and then they took it back, or Ray waiting, and not doing anything with McCabe until basically he was forced to. These people are embedded in this resistance movement, or the concept of it, and they're damaging their institutions. Trump continues to not only be successful, it was flawless, by the way, the State of the Union. Not only does he continue to be successful, but he continues to gather strength because of, I think, their ineptness in the way of them dealing with him.
Thanks for the call, Kent. Now, so that's a nice segue to JK3, as I call him. A couple of mistakes he made before he even...
JK3? Oh, Joe Kennedy III.
Yeah.
One of the richest men in Congress. Net worth, $42.3 million. As of 2014. I'm sure it's gone up since then.
Well, I mean, and I'm sorry, what was his business?
That's the thing.
What? Oh, inheritance was his business.
$43.2 million.
Yeah.
Making him one of the wealthiest members of Congress.
That Cuddy Sark money really passed down through multiple generations.
So this man has suffered. He knows about being poor.
No question. Now, he made a couple of mistakes, though, right out of the gate, before he uttered a word. One of them, using Nixon's makeup man from the 1960 debate against JFK.
Yeah.
Ironically.
There was some little dewiness around the mouth.
He was either drooling or he was sweating, but it was weird.
No,
wasn't it?
I know exactly, because real professional makeup artists would have blotted that out with powder. But it was distracting. I give you that.
Ironically,
I love
Nixonian.
when you and I can talk about makeup.
Well, here's the other thing. The speech here. Well, let's hear where he set the stage of the speech. Let's listen to where the speech took place.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is an absolute privilege to join you all tonight. We are here in Fall River, Massachusetts.
Did you catch that?
Yeah.
Fall River, Massachusetts, and he's on a dais in front of a car. Car? Water?
Oh, Bridge Chappaquiddick?
I mean, I'm just like, Fall River, and you're in front of. That's an odd setting for a Kennedy, didn't you think? I thought.
I was too distracted by the drool coming out of his chin.
Well, that's true. That was distracting. Now, Kennedy's argument, and I mean, this guy's. You tell me.
Well, they're trying to prep him to be the next Democratic.
Well,
hopeful.
I understand what they're trying to do. My interest is in your reaction to his tortured, passionate, I'm whispering for intensity, approach to delivering those rather
he had
anodyne remarks.
A whiny look in his eyes, like he was constipated a little bit at times.
Listen to...
I got something for that.
Yeah, well, sure. And so does the rest of the caucus. They're all in their 80s. Kennedy talked about how the Republicans don't believe in a person's dignity, only their net worth.
Folks, it would be easy to dismiss this past year as chaos, partisanship as politics. But it's far, far bigger than that.
How much bigger?
This administration isn't just targeting the laws that protect us. They're targeting the very idea that we are all worthy of protection. For them, dignity isn't something you're born with, but something you measure by your net worth, your celebrity, your headlines, your crowd size.
Wow.
Was that powerful for you?
It's awful. This is not the second coming.
This is
the Democratic Party.
Well, it's been tough to find a Kennedy who is since JFK, hasn't it been? I found this line though, just the line that Republicans don't believe in the innate dignity of the human being. Just care about your net worth, your celebrity, and so forth.
Yeah, right.
I mean, which is the party of celebrity up until Trump, and which is the pro-life party, and which is the pro-abort party, which is the party that cheers $500 million of everybody's money being sent to Planned Parenthood to commit their 321,000 abortions last year. That's how you convey your belief in the innate dignity of every human being. So, Joe Kennedy wants to go there with his cheap theatrics and mechanical, rehearsed.
Yeah, it was painful.
Emphasis.
Well, he was trying too hard. I mean, so Bobby Rush and Darren Davis had a viewing party of their own on the south side of Chicago last night.
I'm frankly offended that this liar in the White House attempts to take credit for work and accomplishment that's already been realized.
Okay.
So he called President Trump a liar, and then there's Darren Davis.
I think that he and his script writers put together a good script.
Well, President Trump, even NBC said that President Trump has been writing down ideas for the State of the Union since December, the beginning of December. So he did play a part in writing and crafting this speech.
Kevin Rooney tweeting at us.
Rooney.
JK3 prepared for his speech by watching the last 20 minutes of Brian's song 17 times. Yeah, I think so. He definitely was doing a little bit of a Billy D. I love Brian Piccolo. I hope you do too. I love Nancy Pelosi. I hope you do too. Tom in Deer Park, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yes, well, this is the fourth generation of Kennedy, approximately 80 years on. So the notion that we shed the monarchy back in 1776, I think, is really just a fallacy between the Clintons and the Bushes and the Kennedys. I think that we as a country just, we don't want to give it up. We like the idea of this in our back of our heads.
Thanks for the call, Tom. And I'll tell you what, the inbreeding is catching up to the Kennedys.
You're listening to Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
St. John's Northwestern Military Academy has been an all-male military school since 1884, but is going co-ed beginning summer 2018. Their midterm registration is January 21st, and you're invited to attend an upcoming St. John's open house. Consider St. John's Northwestern Military Academy for your son or daughter's middle and high school education in the beautiful Lake Country region of southwest Wisconsin. Your child will receive outstanding academics, superb athletics, leadership opportunities, a chance to live and learn with students from around the world, and most importantly, a safe and structured environment where each student can achieve at his or her full potential. To learn more about how a St. John's Northwestern Military Academy education can give your child the advantage he or she deserves, don't miss an upcoming St. John's Open House. For open house dates and more information, call 1-800-SJ-CADET. That's 1-800-SJ-CADET. Or visit their website, sjnma.org. That's sjnma.org.
Hey, would you buy a house without looking inside? Well, of course not. Shouldn't you be just as diligent when choosing a financial advisor? Hey, it's Sean Hannity here, and just as a house is more than four walls, well, a financial advisor is more than just a nice office. What's their background? Do they work in your best interest as a fiduciary? What's their financial specialty? You want to know all these things because the chances are, over your lifetime, you're going to trust them with far more than the value of your home, because knowledge and experience count for a lot in retirement income planning. Here in Chicago, you need to know Anthony and Michael Pellegrino and their team at Goldstone Financial Group. Call them now, 800-620-9697. That's 800-620-9697. Don't be cavalier with what you have spent a lifetime building. Call Goldstone Financial Group, 800-620-9697.
Investment advisory services offered through Goldstone Financial Group, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
As a parent, you want what's best for your children. That means sending them to a school where they'll get the superior education they deserve, and that also shares your values. That can be tricky these days, as public schools have changed and private schools can be expensive. Your household budget has already been cut to the bone, and it's hard to imagine where you'll find that extra money. Well, there's help to lessen that financial burden and provide your child with the very best education at half the cost. At AM 560, The Answer, we work with private schools throughout the Chicagoland area to provide tuition for families at half the normal cost. Just log on to halfpriceschools.com and you'll find some of Chicagoland's finest private schools, from preschool all the way through high school, at half the cost. And chances are there's a school right in your neighborhood. Invest in your child's education and future at halfpriceschools.com. A limited number of half-price vouchers are available. Go to halfpriceschools.com now.
A storm is on the horizon, and you need to keep the lights on no matter what. Your business relies on the power being on 24/7. It's the lifeblood of your data and computer systems. Weather-related outages from the power company are not acceptable. Your need for a source of power that's reliable 24/7, along with round-the-clock service that can dispatch technicians to your site immediately, is mission critical. Your business needs Charles Equipment Energy Systems on speed dial. These are the big boys, not residential or solar, but reliable industrial generators for emergency backup or events. When you need more than a 100-foot extension cord plugged into a small engine generator, call Charles Equipment Energy Systems. They keep the lights on with rental generators for job sites or power outages. Stay warm this winter. Plan ahead. Call now to prepare generators for winter storms and potential power outages. Call 630-834-6000. That's 630-834-6000 or charlesequipment.com. charlesequipment.com.
5:57 and a check of the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here is Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. Kennedy inbound, heavy Canfield to Harlem, 21 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, outbound fine at 20. Edens remains clear. On Eisenhower, got 2 minutes worth of delays. 25th Avenue to 1st Ave, outbound okay. Mount Stevenson, 37 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Ryan, 17 minutes, 95th to downtown. Bishopport, 22 minutes, 8094 to the merge. The other expressways and tollways are looking good right now. Traffic, service of Audible. Stay motivated, informed, and entertained with the power of audiobooks. Listen anytime, anywhere with the Audible app. Start a 30-day trial. Your first one is free. Just go to audible.com. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues after a full update from Fox News and your official Chicagoland weather forecast with our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Cloudy day with wind gusts up to 30 miles per hour, high 45. Mainly cloudy with a late night flurry tonight, low 25. Breezy with gusts up to 30 miles per hour tomorrow. Clouds and sun throughout the day with a high 28, with temperatures falling into the middle teens. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
32 at O'Hare, 33 along the lakefront. The news, a service of Accountemps. When you could use help closing those books and need additional staff, it's time to call Accountemps. They can provide you with bookkeepers and other accounting and finance professionals on a temporary or project basis and fast. Call today. Accountemps is a Robert Half company. 559. Here are the stories that we are following on AM 560, The Answer. Cubs co-owner Todd Ricketts set to become the Republican National Committee's National Finance Chair. All eyes on the Illinois Capitol at lunchtime as Governor Bruce Rauner is set to deliver his State of the State speech today. The city will hold another police academy entrance exam this spring. All that in an effort to increase the ranks. The National Transportation Safety Board is revealing what caused an engine fire that forced an American Airlines flight to abort takeoff and caused injuries at O'Hare in 2016. State lawmakers are considering a wild plan to shore up the state's retirement system with massive borrowing. We'll tell you more about that. College hoops, Illinois rolled Rutgers in the Valley. Illinois State was a winner over Missouri State. And the Bulls are back on the hard court tonight. WIND Chicago News Time, 6 o'clock.
This is a Fox News alert, a call for unity. I'm Dave Anthony.
I call upon all of us to set aside our differences, to seek out common ground.
President Trump says the state of our union is strong.
There has never been a better time to start living the American dream.
Citing an improved economy featuring low employment, unemployment, and lowered taxes. Fox's Rachel Sutherland is live in Washington.
Dave, declaring a new American moment, President Trump called on Republicans and Democrats to come together on immigration as he discussed his plan to provide a path to citizenship for 1.8 million illegal immigrants, while calling for an end to the family migration and diversity lottery programs.
Americans are dreamers, too.
The president vowed to rebuild the nation's infrastructure.
Gleaming new roads, bridges, highways, railways, and waterways.
The president delivered the third longest State of the Union address in history. Dave.
Yeah, Rachel, was 80 minutes. Republicans applauded him 111 times, but Democrats did not, led by House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi, who sometimes winced and grimaced.
Democrats spent much of the president's State of the Union sitting in silence. At one point, a smattering of boos was heard. Their official response was in Fall River, Massachusetts, delivered by Congressman Joe Kennedy III, who argues the president is offering one false choice after another.
Coal miners or single moms? Rural communities or inner cities? The coast or the heartland?
In Washington, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
Well, the president also said last night,
terrorists are not merely criminals. They are unlawful enemy combatants.
And he signed an order to keep Guantanamo prison open. The ACLU calls that a big mistake, a human rights disaster. If you could see the moon early this morning, you might see quite the show. A lunar eclipse is underway. It might appear reddish, even though it's called a super blood blue moon, because it's the second full moon this month at a time when it's closest to Earth. Fox News, fair and balanced.
If you've got an Amazon Alexa device, then you know it can do a lot of things. It can set reminders. It can keep track of your shopping list. It can answer unusual questions. And it can also play this radio station. Just say, Alexa, play The Answer Chicago. That's all it takes, and it works on all Alexa devices. The Echo Dot, and Amazon Show. So now, Alexa will really have all the answers you need.
Message and data rates may apply.
You don't follow the herd. You blaze your own trail. And you're as adventurous in the kitchen as you are in life. Whether it's paddleboard yoga or Peruvian steak, you're the first to try new things. So are we. We're Green Chef, the first USDA-certified organic meal kit delivery service. We offer delicious meal plans for 7 different lifestyles: paleo, gluten-free, keto, vegetarian, vegan, carnivore, and omnivore. Want to be the first of your friends to try Green Chef? Discover our exclusive introductory deal by texting the keyword BITE to 543-543. We believe that cooking, just like life, should be all about experience and flavor. And by exploring dinner options with Green Chef, you'll try new recipes, techniques, and ingredients for bold, new restaurant-level flavors. It's like enjoying a new cooking class, but in your own home. To experience this culinary adventure, text now and discover our exclusive introductory deal. Text BITE to 543-543. That's BITE to 543-543.
Building owners and managers. When it comes to maintaining the value of your commercial, industrial, or institutional building, there will be roof repairs or replacements for you to deal with. When you're looking for a good roofing contractor, search the chicago-roofing.org website for Chicagoland's best roofing contractors for repairs, replacements, or new construction. And you can check out their innovative roofing work also. All contractors at chicago-roofing.org proudly employ members of Roofers Union Local 11 who have undergone 5 years of rigorous training at the country's leading school for roofing, the Chicagoland Roofers Joint Apprenticeship Training Center. ChicagoRoofing.org contractors are at the top of their game and provide Chicagoland's best value for the best roofs all year long. Building owners and managers, you will have roof repairs or replacements to deal with. It's inevitable. Go to ChicagoRoofing.org. That's ChicagoRoofing.org.
When you're hiring, you want qualified candidates fast, and it can be hard to know where to find them. More than 3 million businesses use Indeed.com, the world's #1 job site. Whether you need entry-level or highly skilled employees, Indeed helps you find great talent and make the right hire. Indeed is offering new users a $50 credit to give their first job post premium visibility as a sponsored job. Redeem this offer at Indeed.com/promo. That's Indeed.com/promo. Terms, conditions, and quality standards apply.
What happened? You used to go hours without visiting the bathroom. Now it seems like you're constantly getting up to pee. Listen, the makers of Super Beta Prostate are introducing a new wonder pill, Super Beta Prostate P3 Advanced, with 3 key ingredients that are great for your prostate. To celebrate, your first 30-day supply is free. Pay shipping and handling. Get P3 Advanced free. Call 1-800-215-9360. 1-800-215-9360. 1-800-215-9360.
Amy Jacobson here, and I wanted to take a minute to say thanks. Thank you to each and every one of you who participated in our annual Food for the Poor campaign. Because of you, we were able to raise over $160,000 to provide food for a year and clean water for life for over 3,200 children and their families in countries throughout Latin America and the Caribbean. And we are especially grateful to the many business benefactors who supported this campaign. When you hear their ads on this radio station, we'd ask that you support their businesses as a way of thanking them for their generosity. And just because the Christmas season is over and we're starting a new year, that doesn't mean the need goes away. You can still make a $50 donation to Food for the Poor. Call 844-862-4673. That's 844-862-4673. And thanks again for your generosity.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Mortgage Makeovers, a show walking you through stress-free mortgage options. Mortgage Makeovers, Sunday afternoons at 1 on AM 560, The Answer.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Some of my observations from last night's State of the State address, or State of the Union address, excuse me. We actually have Governor Rauner's State of the State address today.
Oh, yeah, that's today at noon.
Are
you going to run down to Springfield after the show?
That's going to be what you saw last night from Trump. You'll see 180 degrees different from Rauner. In other words, it being interesting, it being substantive, it using actual stories to illustrate values and policies that flow from values. You won't see any of that. You'll see platitudes and flamflammery, some of which you also heard from Trump. There's not much policy detail, but I got to say, we talked about the kid from North Korea and the holding up the crutches, that William Wallace freedom moment. Just incredible. It was also, I thought, heartening to recognize all the Lenny Skutniks around in America.
Oh, yeah.
Remember Lenny Skutnik? We talked about this yesterday. The first guest of a president, Ronald Reagan brought him. He was the hero who saved people in the Air Florida crash in the Potomac, 35 years ago.
They did a great job of honoring everyday people who've done extraordinary things.
Military.
Military accomplishments, whether it be a 10-year-old kid who put 40,000 flags on graves, police officer and his wife who adopted a heroin-addicted baby.
Right. That was a good...
but for me, I cried.
Coast Guard.
Yeah,
the Coast Guard, the Cajun Navy.
Yeah.
There was a lot of... And then there was the heartbreaking moments, too.
The parents.
The Warren Bear family, as obviously their son Otto effectively murdered by Kim Jong-un in that brutal regime. And also the Cuevas and Mickens families who lost their daughters to...
gang violence from people who shouldn't have been here in this country anyway. Yeah.
Right.
They were walking home from school and they got shot down.
Those were tough. Those were tough moments, and it's that those moments have where they've guests who have suffered great loss to illustrate a point about policy. That's not the first time that's been done, but it's powerful every time because this is what policy is about. Policy is about other human beings. That's what politics is about. It's about other human beings and how are we going to govern a free society. And so it's worth remembering that that this policy impacts people's lives. That's why it matters, and that's why politics, as distasteful as it is on so many levels, matters. Speaking of which, let's get some reaction to the policy and the politics from our friend Peter Roskam, congressman from the Illinois 6th out there in the western suburbs. Peter, thanks for joining us again. Appreciate it.
Dan and Amy, thanks for having me on. Good morning.
Now, before we get into it, I just want to do a wellness check. Do you know, is the family emergency, I assume, that forced Luis Gutierrez from the chamber when the rest of you were chanting USA, USA, is everything okay with the Gutierrez family as far as you know?
I don't know. I'm not dialed in on that hotline.
Okay,
so,
all right.
Did you see him flee the building?
Well.
Just want to check on him.
Well, Congressman Holmgren sat over with the Democrats as a show of unity. Where did you sit last night?
I sat about 10 rows back on the president's far left in the traditional Republican side.
Couldn't get a seat next to Melania, huh?
Yeah. So the First Lady and all the guests were above me, fairly close. I was over on that side. I mean, and just to echo your earlier point, there was a lot of emotion because you obviously when the First Lady comes in and Karen Pence, the Vice President's wife, is there. There's, people are saying, hey, there they are. And then there's these folks that are around them, and you really don't know who's who. And then as the speech unfolds, one person or one couple or one family after another is brought to the attention of the chamber, and it's very emotional. And I'm sure it's captured on TV, but in the room, it's really significant.
Now, the president didn't really get into much policy detail. I mean, on virtually all the topics, it kind of was a top line. It was things you've heard from before. It was a regurgitation of his proposal on a DACA border security deal, for example. It was mentioning the infrastructure, an infrastructure program and the amount. It was talking about resolve with respect to North Korea. There weren't a lot of specifics. That clearly was a purposeful choice that was made to instead tell stories as a way of illustrating where the administration is and why it is where it is. Did you think that was the right call that they made?
Yeah, look, I think that nobody's really interested in a super detailed prescriptive approach on things. And I think that there will be a lot of folks that are going to analyze this today and compare it to previous speeches. But I think on balance, these tend to be a president outlining larger themes. I think this is a good format for President Trump that is tightly scripted and with a pace through the speech. He freelanced a little bit, you could just tell some of those catchphrases that he would toss out occasionally. But I think on balance, I think the speech, I think it resonated with most folks that were listening, not all, and not all in the chamber, that's for sure.
Well, what do you think the Democratic reaction was? I mean, literally, they sat on their hands, and I know Republicans sit on their hands too when President Obama delivered a few State of the Unions. But when he's celebrating something so monumental as the lowest unemployment rate for African Americans in our nation's history, you'd think they'd stand up, and they did the cutaway shot, and they all looked like they were, going to the doctor's office, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, right.
Yes,
yeah.
passing kidney stones. See?
Yeah. No, look, I think it there were a number of times when I looked over at the Democratic side, and a few of them would pop up, or there would be a ripple effect. And you've observed this all over the years, sort of back and forth. And, when he's celebrating the flag, when he's celebrating all of these sorts of things, I mean, how do you sit down? And yet there were some folks that just wouldn't participate. So I think that there's a marginalization there. I mean, I think that there's that is a group of critics that you're never going to satisfy. And I think that their unwillingness to stand for things that this is the overwhelming majority of people think is worthy of celebration. Their unwillingness to participate in a celebration of that kind of success, I think, marginalizes their influence, and it marginalizes their critique and their criticism on some things moving forward. You can't even celebrate those things, then how can you possibly be credible in criticism of other things?
I was trying to get a rank order priority on what the Democrats are opposed to. And so could you tell me from your interactions with your colleagues across the aisle, are they most opposed to standing for the anthem, or are they most opposed to sanctions on Cuba and Venezuela?
Yeah, I'll tell you, what scandalizes them right now is the success of the tax cuts. It is really, really tough on them because it's not going away. And they don't know how to react to it. They're, dismissive of $1,000 as, Nancy Pelosi says $1,000 bonus for families and is crumbs. Well, I'll tell you, there's a lot of folks in the 6th Congressional District that I represent that's not crumbs for those people. They just can't get their feet underneath them on dealing with something that's successful. And rather than acknowledge its success or even being silent as to its success,
so do you
just continue to criticize. It's ridiculous.
So, Donald Trump, his speech, I thought was very thoughtful. It seemed sincere. Do you think he wants to rewrite the narrative of his presidency going forward and not just, leave the tweets behind, possibly?
Yeah. No, I don't think so. I think that, Amy, we saw this last year. He gave a very good State of the Union speech, and people thought, wow, it was a good speech. He gave a good State of the Union speech. I think this is more of a format that he thrives in. The challenge is that he continues to want to tweet constantly, and it's his prerogative. But I think he leaves a lot of influence on the table by continuing to do that. So if you're asking me for a prediction, does he continue to tweet out quite a bit? I think he will continue to do that.
The response, the Democrat response, and I'm not talking about little JK3. I'm talking about in the chamber to Trump's restatement of his proposed deal on DACA and border security was received with hissing from Democrats. I don't know if that really qualifies as a substantive rejoinder, but I guess that tells you where they're at. It seems to me that President Trump has Democrats really in a trick bag there, too. You talk about on taxes, on this issue as well, because he's met them more than halfway, and they're not even willing to engage. So he kind of looks like the reasonable businessman who's trying to make a deal consistent with where the American public is on the range of issues under the immigration header, and the Democrats don't want a deal.
Right. This is a large group of the political left does not want a solution to this problem. They want the issue. They want the issue to continue to fester, and they want to be able to talk about it, and they don't want it solved. And a number of them certainly don't want Donald Trump to solve it. And I think that that's a shameful thing, actually. And it's got a pretty low view of the process all the way around. I don't know if you also picked up, they hissed when he was talking about the judiciary, and in particular when he was highlighting a great justice, and that was obviously Justice Gorsuch.
Right.
One of those moments that was pretty jarring.
Yeah, they're very adults. They're very enlightened, sophisticated, intellectual people. They really demonstrate.
And the
themselves
man
to
is
be.
sitting, right in the room. By the way.
Yeah.
So cruel.
And unlike
they really looked like children. It was bad.
Yeah, and Gorsuch was just stone-faced, much like Nancy Pelosi, but for different reasons. Here's the thing, Peter. Any concerns coming out of what the president says? Because I have some about President Trump's agenda, his statements on trade, as well as the $1.5 trillion infrastructure program, and exactly how that's going to, form, how that's going to be advanced in form.
Right. So it's trade. There was another round of NAFTA negotiations last weekend up in Canada. There's one that's coming up in next month in Mexico. And it's very important that we negotiate good trade deals, but that we have trade deals. America wins on these, and to move back to a mercantile view of the economy is not the direction that we want to go. So that's the first thing, just a word of caution. It could be that he's just a good negotiator and he wants to drive a hard bargain, but I hope he doesn't blow up NAFTA. The second thing is, as you said, everybody wants infrastructure. The question is, how do we pay for it? And I'll tell you, I represent a constituency that pays toll after toll after toll.
Mm-hmm.
So the idea of going back and saying to my constituents, oh, we're just going to raise the gas tax and it's going to all be great, that doesn't sound very, very good to me. So there's other challenges. And then look, the entire nature of the provocative offering on immigration has a lot of work to do. It could be an opening bid or an opening salvo, but there's a lot of conservatives that are concerned about the direction that the president is going. So those three areas are areas of caution. But I think on balance, it was a good speech. It was celebrating much which we celebrate in the United States, and I think it's a good venue for Donald Trump.
Yeah, we were at a viewing party last night with a bunch of, conservatives, and nobody clapped when he offered 1.8 illegals a path to citizenship. But before we let you go, I want to ask you about the Nunes memo. Have you read it?
I've read it.
And care to share?
And when it's released, I will be happy to opine and sign my life away on all kinds of things that I won't do until it's formally released. So
do you think it needs to be released?
Yeah, it needs to be released. I think it, it's not, in my opinion, there's been a lot of high expectations now that have been created by discussions of the memo. And, it's significant. It demonstrates a concerning trend. And I think that we should publicly discuss it. But, it's not going to, I don't want to overcharacterize it. Overcharacterization on balance is the death of persuasion, and I wouldn't overcharacterize the memo.
Political question before I let you go. The Democrats and the D.C. press corps salivating over the prospect of a Democrat takeover of the House come November. They look at suburban seats like, I don't know, Illinois 6 and say...
6th district.
Yeah, say, college-educated women, plus 30 for Democrats, and in... middle to upper middle income suburban districts like Peter Roskam's, that's where we can make up ground and take back the House. How do you feel about your standing in district?
I feel good about where we are. I think that we've got a good plan, and I've walked this journey before. You'll recall my opponent in 2006 was now Senator Tammy Duckworth, which is a highly competitive race. So I know the nature of what's coming and how to compete in that arena. And I also think that people are able to distinguish what they want, who they want in their representative, and the worldview that they want reflected. And I'm looking forward to the campaign.
All right. He is Peter Roskam, Congressman from Illinois 6th. Peter, thanks for joining us as always. Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
This is the morning show more Chicago radio listeners are choosing. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Coming up next, I love it when quarterbacks cry and chew tobacco. But first, here's your forecast. Today, cloudy, breezy, mild, a high of 48 degrees. We're in the upper 20s right now, so it will get warmer. Tonight, brisk and cold, a flurry late, low of 27. And for Thursday, breezy, much colder with times of some sun, some clouds, but a high only in the upper 20s. Let's get into the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here is the one and only Jim Telemonte.
Thanks, Amy. Good morning. Good morning, Dan. Metro, the Union Pacific North line has a cancellation. Train 328 due in downtown Chicago at 9:08. That's canceled this morning due to a mechanical problem. The other trains right now are on schedule. Kennedy inbound, slow Cumberland to Harlem and Nagel to Central. 22 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. Outbound 20. Eden's still looking good, just a little congestion approaching the junction. About Eisenhower, got about 3 minutes worth of delays from 25th to Harlem. Outbound still fine. About Stevenson, about a 4-minute delay, Harlem to Kedzie. About Ryan, a 4-minute delay, 31st into downtown. Bishop Ford at 23 minutes, 8094 to the merge. Tollways are fine. General traffic's relatively light for this hour. Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Upstream-ideas.com, premium content that complements what we do each morning on this show. Long-form interviews are Against the Current series. Podcast for Illinois Rising program is here Sundays at 3 p.m. on these airwaves. It covers state policy and politics. 2-minute warnings from Pat Hughes at Illinois Opportunity Project. 60 Seconds of Sanity commentaries from yours truly. Heart of the Matter. It's our series featuring professional women speaking collegially about the important issues of the day, their impacts on household budgets and family in Illinois. And don't forget our sister site, defendhomeowners.com, defendhomeowners.com. Get a free property tax report on your home. See how the highest property taxes in the nation are decimating your property value, your home value. Sorry to be the bearer of bad news. And then also check out some recent regional analyses we have done of property taxes that provide additional context and arm you with additional data. All the property tax info, defendhomeowners.com. Everything else, upstream-ideas.com.
For many businesses, hiring is tough. You want access to highly qualified candidates fast. And you don't want to sign a long-term contract or pay upfront fees. That's why you need Indeed.com, delivering 6 times more hires than any other job site, according to independent research. Indeed is offering new users a $50 credit to give their first job post premium visibility as a sponsored job. Redeem this offer at Indeed.com/credit. That's Indeed.com/credit. Terms, conditions, and quality standards apply.
Hate going to the mall? Try Latote.com, a fashion subscription box that sends brand name clothing and accessories right to your door for one low monthly fee. Choose from brands like BCBG, Nike, Rebecca Minkoff, and more. All month long, get unlimited totes each month. Simply wear, return, and repeat. Go to Latote.com, enter code radio at checkout to get 50% off your first month. Wear what you want, return everything in the mail when you're done. Repeat all month long. Again, that's Latote.com, enter code radio.
Hey, Butch, all I ever see you eat is raw meat, whiskey, and an occasional bowl of rusty nails. Now, I know you're tough, but with your diet, what's your secret to avoiding the flu?
Jim, this is between us. You hear?
Sure, Butch, you can trust me.
Well, I take Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies. I take them on the go or under the table when no one's looking. It's the only way I'd ever get over 10 real servings of fruits and vegetables.
Is it like a vitamin or something?
No, it's food. They only use real whole ingredients. Not that isolated or synthetic crap you get with all the other guys. This is real stuff, Jim. Real stuff. They sell direct to consumers and ship right to your door, free of charge.
Well, Buckaroo, how do I get them?
Call them at 1-800-2468-751. Write it down, Jim, before someone sees me. It's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code WAGON for a special offer.
Looking to refinance your home? Then you need to call Team Hochberg. Sally's heard hundreds of Team Hochberg's ads, so naturally she called the nation's largest online lender, obsessed with their Rocket, because she saw their ad pumping gas. Bad move. The Rocket-loving lender quoted Sally a rate higher than us and closing costs $6,000 more than Team Hochberg's. We explained the exorbitant closing costs and refinanced Sally into a lower rate and credited all of her closing costs. Team Hochberg doesn't have a Rocket, but we have lower rates and substantially lower closing costs than the nation's largest online Rocket-loving lender. You could call the nation's largest online lender who spends millions promoting their Rocket by charging excessive closing costs, or you could call Team Hochberg at 312-751-1333 or visit am560david.com. Team Hochberg has helped thousands of AM560 listeners, but we can't help if you don't call 312-751-1333 or visit am560david.com. Pearl Mortgage and Equal Housing Lender, Illinois Residential Mortgage Licensee 4358 and MLS 19186.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Bob Aument, a founding partner of the law firm of Dassman & Aument and longtime personal customer of Signature Bank. Our firm recently left one of the larger banks to bank with Signature Bank, and it's been a refreshing change. With Signature Bank, we've been able to tailor banking solutions that fit the specific needs of our firm. Beyond that, Signature Bank is responsive, efficient, and timely in meeting those needs. If I have a request, I pick up the phone and talk to Mick O'Rourke, not someone at a phone bank thousands of miles away. Dassman & Aument needed more than what the larger banks offer, and we found that with Signature Bank.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
AM 560, The Answer.
So yesterday was Media Day at the Super Bowl up in Minneapolis there. That's where they're hosting the Super Bowl. Eagles, you know, the Patriots, which is getting very
Sunday,
old.
yeah, right.
Sunday.
Yeah, oh.
But Nick Foles, the quarterback for the Eagles, he was a backup quarterback. Now he's obviously starting.
Carson Wentz injured, yes, right.
Doing really well. And a reporter from CNN asked him about his newborn baby who's 7 months old. And he started crying like a baby.
When you look into your daughter's eyes now, how has she changed the way you see the game?
Just saying everything.
Very well
That's
spoken.
the most important thing. When I get to, when I think about this journey and everything, I get home and I get to see her no matter what happens, no matter if I play a horrible game. She loves me. She has no idea. We win the Super Bowl. She has no idea. And she's going to love me no matter what.
I feel the same way about Hayek, but get it together, Foles. There's no crying in football.
And then Tom Brady, his wife, I guess, is from upper Minnesota. And he recalled the time when they all went hunting and he tried chewing tobacco. Has this ever happened to you, Dan?
We were fishing we went sun fishing, and
why is there music
on the way home? I said, I want to try it. And they said, look, if we give it to you, then, you can't spit it out until you get home. And it was like a 30-minute ride back to my grandpa's farm. So, of course, they give it to me, and within 5 minutes, I'm outside of the car throwing up all over the place. And I don't think I've had much chewing tobacco since then.
Have you ever tried chewing tobacco?
I mean,
or you just stick to cigars?
Could these guys be less interesting, honestly?
Well, they're just trying
I mean, could they
to
be
hype
less
up
interesting?
the Super Bowl.
Yeah, they're doing a terrible job because they have one dimension. It has to do with throwing a pigskin or receiving it or tackling people who have it. Here's the thing about question I have about Tom Brady, though.
Yes,
Real
sir.
question. If you want to spice up media day, you invite me to ask the tough question.
Oh, right.
Now, is Bridget Monahan and your illegitimate child with her, are they also invited? Are they going to be using your tickets? You provide tickets for them as well.
You know what? I don't think I've ever seen them at a game.
Why not?
I don't know.
What's
Maybe he wants to focus on the current family.
Well, I mean,
rather than the family he created, then left for a hot supermodel.
I just, it's just questions about family. You're asking about Nick Foles' kids. Why not about all of Tom Brady's kids?
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Speaking of sports, Max Kellerman, this guy on ESPN, who I used to like when he would do color for, or actually he would do blow-by-blow for boxing.
You mean play-by-play?
No, not in a boxing match.
Okay.
Blow-by-blow. When he would do that, I liked him. Now he's become another PC hack on MS ESPN, as Clay Travis calls it. He actually wants the Fighting Irish to go the way of Chief Wahoo.
No.
Told you it was going to happen. Should the Fighting Irish go? We'll take all your calls from Beverly and Mount Greenwood at 636.
And Northwest Indiana. But first, let's get into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
33 degrees, mostly cloudy skies. Snap polling done by a couple of different outfits show about 3/4 of Americans polled who watched President Trump's State of the Union address thought he did a good job last night. The president's first State of the Union address was a call for unity.
This, in fact, is our new American moment. There has never been a better time to start living the American dream.
The president saying last night that Congress needs to tackle immigration reform and infrastructure. He also wants Congress to work with him on cutting prescription drug prices.
One of my greatest priorities is to reduce the price of prescription drugs.
Democrats' response was given by Congressman Joe Kennedy, who urged Americans to remain strong and says that Democrats may have a better deal.
Bullies may land a punch. They may leave a mark. But they have never, not once, in the history of our United States, managed to match the strength and spirit of a people united in defense of their future.
The president also ordered the U.S. military prison at Cuba's Guantanamo Bay to remain open and ready to accept enemy combatants. NTSB investigators are on the scene in Newport Beach, California, on the scene of a helicopter crash that has left 3 dead so far. Neighbors say it was impossible not to hear the sound of the sightseeing chopper crash into a home.
It sounded like a train was going to hit a wall or something.
It sounded like a helicopter magnified by about 100.
3 died in that crash. A 4th person is in very serious condition at a nearby hospital. Shockwaves continue to emanate from a state report on that false missile alert that scared Hawaii. A retired brigadier general investigating saying Wednesday, the worker who sent that alert had a history of believing that exercises were actual events. Cubs co-owner Todd Ricketts is now set to become the Republican National Committee's National Finance Chair. The Democratic frontrunner in the race for Illinois governor says Bruce Rauner is to blame for the most recent Legionnaires outbreak at the Quincy Veterans Home. Chicago police are investigating after a man was shot and killed by his accomplice during an attempted home invasion on the north side. And kudos to Houston Rockets player James Harden, who made a little history last night. The Beard had 60 points. He had a 60-point triple-double in last night's win over Orlando. His record-setting night started only with 16 points in the first quarter and then exploded. Basketball last night at State Farm Center saw Illinois beat Rutgers 91-60. In the Valley, Illinois State and SIU were winners tonight. Bradley and first-place Loyola tangle at Carver Arena. Last night, the Blackhawks' second half began with a win over the Predators in Nashville, 2-1. The news service of Pringles wants to know what's easier than making a grilled cheese sandwich? Making a grilled cheese sandwich out of Pringles. Stack up original Pringles, cheddar cheese Pringles, and another original, and boom, you've got yourself the grilled cheese stack. Stack different flavors, create endless new ones with Pringles. 6:34 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Dennis Prager explains the left's view on immigration.
Leftism is not interested in borders. Leftism, since Karl Marx, it has never deviated from this belief. National states are an anachronism. The nation state is irrelevant.
The Dennis Prager Show. Weekdays at 11, right before Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
A bad cold and flu season is upon us. The main difference between them is the flu brings a fever. Be prepared with the Exergen Temporal Scanner Thermometer, backed by more than 70 clinical studies.
For many businesses, hiring is tough. You want access to highly qualified candidates fast. And you don't want to sign a long-term contract or pay upfront fees. That's why you need Indeed.com, delivering 6 times more hires than any other job site, according to independent research. Indeed is offering new users a $50 credit to give their first job post premium visibility as a sponsored job. Redeem this offer at Indeed.com/credit. That's Indeed.com/credit. Terms, conditions, and quality standards apply.
Hate going to the mall? Try Latote.com, a fashion subscription box that sends brand name clothing and accessories right to your door for one low monthly fee. Choose from brands like BCBG, Nike, Rebecca Minkoff, and more. All month long, get unlimited totes each month. Simply wear, return, and repeat. Go to Latote.com, enter code radio at checkout to get 50% off your first month. Wear what you want, return everything in the mail when you're done. Repeat all month long. Again, that's Latote.com, enter code radio.
It is 6:36. Let's get an update on that morning commute in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim.
Thanks, Mike. We are seeing delays this morning on the inbound Edens now from Niles Center Road to the junction. It's 23 minutes from Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 20. Inbound Kennedy. Delays are from Cumberland to Montrose and Kimball to Chicago Avenue. 34 minutes O'Hare to downtown. 18 from Montrose, 12 in the Express. Outbound 13 minutes to Montrose, 25 to the airport. Inbound Eisenhower heavy 25th to Harlem, 45 minutes, 390 to downtown. Outbound 33. Inbound Stevenson, 40 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 35. Ryan is 18 minutes, 95th to downtown. Bishop 4, 23 minutes, 8094 to the merge. Southbound Tri-State bottled up will plane to 137. There's a crash blocking 3 left lanes. Northbound heavy 95th to LaGrange Road, Plainfield Road to 47th, and from the Eisenhower to North Avenue. The other tollways look good. In Northbrook, there's a crash which has westbound Willow Road closed, Shermer to Greenwood. Traffic, service of Walgreens. Looking to save money on your Medicare Part D prescriptions? As a preferred pharmacy, Walgreens offers co-pays as low as $0 on Tier 1 generics on select plans. Switch your prescriptions and start saving today. Walgreens, trusted since 1901. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. Cloudy, breezy, milder, a high near 48 today. And yes, you can see that Rare super blue moon eclipse happening right now, way to our west for just a few more minutes. 32 officially at O'Hare under cloudy, breezy, and milder conditions today. High, again, a high near 48 later. Next news at 7. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Secure Retirement Radio with host Raj Shah. Sunday mornings at 7 on AM 560, The Answer.
Hey, Joe Walsh here. How do you think President Trump did last night? We'll talk about it when Freedom returns at 5.
Dan and Amy, all right, moving away from the State of the Union for a moment. We've got two stories where sports intersects politics and culture, and so those are always fun. First, our friend Todd Ricketts is set to replace Steve Wynn as the RNC Finance Chair. It was reported by Politico yesterday.
Yeah, congratulations to him.
Yeah, I think
gig.
Yeah, I think it's good for him. I think he'll be good for the RNC, for the president, for the GOP. So I think that's a good role for him, and I think he'll do well at it. First suggestion, I texted him back and forth with me a little bit yesterday. Congratulations, but suggestion: the first thing he should do to show good faith and good management, that he's willing to make the tough calls as RNC chairman, like
give money to Jeannie Ives.
Well, that would be good. But in addition to that,
yes, of course,
he should force Jason Hayward to tithe annually to the RNC. Jason Hayward, $184 million contract, the sixth highest paid player in baseball. Do you think you're getting the sixth best player in baseball in terms of performance on the field? That would be good to show a little accountability. What do you think?
Okay, I think we could separate work and politics.
No.
No?
Not until Jason Hayward ponies up. All right, here's the other issue. We talked about Wahoo going away yesterday.
Bye-bye. Such a friendly character.
And so this is going to be a fun one for all the domers in Chicago Metro.
And don't forget our friends in Northwest Indiana that listen to this show religiously.
Well, of course.
We're here for you.
So
our lines are open.
I want to hear from all the rank and file Irish Democrats out there. Boy, do I.
312-642-5600 is our turnkey.pro answer line. 64636. Type in DA, then a quick comment.
MSESPN host Max Kellerman saying yesterday the Fighting Irish should go. It's offensive.
You mean the guy, the leprechaun guy?
The Fighting Irish nickname should go, and the leprechaun should go with it.
When I go to Native American reservations around the country to call fights, I am approached. I've received feathers in honor and letters saying thank you for your stance publicly. This is the way many of us feel. So the Washington Post, do I believe that's a representative survey of the way Native Americans actually feel about this? No, I do not. But how hard is it for you or anyone to empathize? Simply empathize with a group who is defended, even if it is a minority of the group that is offended. And as to the argument, kind of when is enough or when does it end, my friend Brian Kenny, Stephen A., our colleague and good friend from ESPN, now on MLB Network, was tweeting about this last night, and someone asked him about, what about the Fighting Irish? Brian is Irish-American. His father, Charlie Kenny, the late, great Charlie Kenny, bog farmer from Ireland. That's where his people are from. Walked the beat in Queens as a cop once he got to this country. Was asked about the Fighting Irish and the leprechaun logo. And many Irish-Americans are not offended, but many are. And should that also change?
You answer
the
that.
The answer is yes. Unequivocally yes. Pernicious, negative stereotypes of marginalized people that offend, even some among them, should be changed. It's not that hard.
Love it. Where does it end? It doesn't. Max Kellerman, the first honest leftist dingbat on the topic. Where does it end? It doesn't end. It does not end. And when I say you need to empathize with people, what I'm saying is you need to agree with me. That's what he's saying. This is fantastic. So we renamed the Blackhawks. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Excuse me. You can't use that word.
We renamed the Chicago Hockey Club team yesterday, just in advance of
criminals, or what do we call them?
There's a lot. The Chicago Sanctuaries I thought was good.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of good suggestions, but we're in the process of coming up with a new name that will be applied to the Chicago Hockey Club, just to try and get ahead of the learning curve here. As you heard Max Kellerman say, where does it end? It doesn't end. Does not end. It just takes a couple people on a street corner yelling, like in Cleveland, to get rid of Wahoo and probably ultimately the
name.
Baseball team's nickname. And then, so now we need to rename Notre Dame. What is it going to be? The Notre Dame nickname and mascot. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line.
Notre Dame Domers. And then just have a picture of the dome.
Are you?
Or their helmets.
Come on, I want to hear.
The little Irish guy, what's going to happen to him? He's
Beverly, Mount Greenwood, the rock-ribbed Chicago Democrats. I want to hear from you.
Does he always have a beer in his hand? I can't remember, like a Sudsy beer.
The tough guys. I want to hear from you about Max Kellerman rallying to your defense because somebody is offended by the leprechaun or by the Fighting Irish, a negative stereotype, and you dainty folks that I see in South Bend on Saturdays can't take it. Is that right? Come on. Democrats, I want to hear from you because this is your party. This is your culture right here. This is the culture the Democrats want. These are the cultural Marxists that you are affiliated with for every single Democrat you vote for, and I don't care who it is or where it is in this country. Max Kellerman is their press secretary. Do you get it?
It was designed in 1964. It's just an Irish leprechaun with his fists up, ready to fight. What is offensive, I should say, about that? It's unbelievable to me.
Can you pull Pat on line 1 up, Pat in Elburn?
Hey, Pat.
Somebody's got to pull him up. Pat in Elburn. You're on Chicago's Morning Answer if we can get something. Oh, and you're not. All right, we'll come back and take your calls.
It's what Chicago is talking about. It's Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy on AM 560. The Answer.
Coming up, your phone calls on what we should replace the Notre Dame mascot with. 312-642-5600 is our turnkey.pro answer line. 64636. Type in DA, then a quick comment. Today it's going to be cloudy and breezy, mild, a high of 48 degrees. We're only at 27 right now, and it is windy, but yes, it will get warmer. Tonight, mainly cloudy, brisk, a flurry late, low of 27. And for tomorrow, Thursday, breezy, much colder with times of clouds and sun, a high only of 28 degrees. Now let's get into the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here is Jim Telemonte.
Well, Amy and Dan, right now things look great in Northwest Indiana. If you're heading to see the Fighting Irish, maybe the Valpo Crusaders, no problems on 8094, the Indiana Toll Road, or I-65. Illinois Tollway is a different story. Southbound Tri-State, jammed 21 to 137 with a crash now blocking one left lane. It had 3 lanes blocked briefly. Northbound the Tri-State is heavy 95th to LaGrange Road, Plainfield Road to 47th, and from the Eisenhower to North Avenue. Edens is 25 minutes, Lake Cook to Montrose, up on 22. Kennedy, 34 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, up on 25. On Eisenhower, now 46 minutes, 390 to downtown, up on 33. Stevenson jammed First Avenue to Kedzie, 55 minutes, 355 to the drive, up on 35. Ryan is 20 minutes, 95th to downtown. Bishop Ford, 43 minutes, 8094 to the Ryan. Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
I'm Lou Dobbs. A Fed decision on interest rates today. The Renault, Nissan, Mitsubishi Alliance says it's the world's #1 car seller now. Those stories and more next.
You like freedom? I do. You like money? Well, I do too. If you like freedom and money, then you're going to love Freedom Checks. You see, over the next few months, an estimated $34.6 billion is up for grabs to anyone who stakes their claim. Yep, you heard that right. $34.6 billion. To get all the details, just go to www.claimfreedomchecks.com. Thousands of people are already lined up to cash in. Take Doug, for example. He's a 46-year-old from Joplin, Missouri, who's set to get a check for $24,075. And if Doug can do this, I've got a hunch that you can too. But here's the thing. If you want the chance to grab your full fair share of this $34.6 billion payout, you must have your ducks in a row by March 1st. So don't wait. Get over to www.claimfreedomchecks.com before the March 1st deadline. That's www.claimfreedomchecks.com.
On the economic calendar today, the ADP employment report, pending home sales index, and the Federal Open Market Committee concluding its two-day meeting. The Fed not expected to raise interest rates. This marks the last meeting to be chaired by Janet Yellen before her term ends later this week. She's succeeded by Jerome Powell. The alliance of car makers Renault, Nissan, and Mitsubishi saying it's the world's top automaker after selling 10.6 million cars last year, crediting growing demand for SUVs and electric vehicles. And the Department of Justice and SEC are now investigating whether Apple violated security laws concerning disclosures that it slowed older iPhones with flagging batteries for each update. Please join me for Lou Dobbs tonight at 7 and 11 Eastern on the Fox Business Network. This is the Lou Dobbs Financial Report.
Oh, yes, we are heading to Riviera Maya, Mexico this year. It's our annual Passport to Paradise trip, presented by Arlington Heights Heating and Cooling and our good friends over there at Joe Cotton Ford. We'll be staying at the Secrets Maroma Beach Riviera Cancun Resort and Spa. It's a gorgeous resort, 9 gourmet restaurants serving unlimited drinks, 24-hour room service. It's a beautiful property, unlimited luxury, adults only. That's nice. And it's situated on Maroma Beach where you can just go in and snorkel. The water is crystal clear. It's blue. It's beautiful. So go to 560theanswer.com/passport. Now, Apple Vacations has secured a great price for us for this trip, but it won't last forever. And from now until February 9th, you can enter to win a trip for two by downloading and launching the AM560 mobile app. Just go to 560theanswer.com/mobile to get the mobile app and enter to win this trip. Good luck. And don't miss your chance to escape the cold and snow of Chicago and spend a week with us in paradise. Go to 560theanswer.com/passport.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I'm Mark Gastineau. I played in the NFL for 10 years. I was diagnosed with CTE, with dementia, Alzheimer's, and Parkinson's. The fruits and vegetables that we take from Balance of Nature is the best thing that we could ever do. And I'm calling in now to order extra because of my wife has been taking mine because she sees the difference in me. It is a wonderful thing that Balance of Nature is doing. I hear the testimonies on the radio, but I'm a testimony for myself. And the fruits and vegetables, if I don't take them every single day, my day is not going to go the same. So God bless you, and thank you for what you've done for my wife and I.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first month's order and ship it to you free. Call 800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Spark ideas for spring home improvement at the Old House New House Home Show, February 9th through 11th at Pheasant Run Resort in St. Charles. Explore the latest in kitchens, baths, basements, additions, renovations, and landscaping. Discover displays from 300 award-winning contractors, talented designers, and creative craftsmen. You can also meet experts on roofing, waterproofing, window treatments, patios, pergolas, painting, tile, custom closets, windows, doors, flooring, and more at the Old House New House Home Show. Enjoy inspiring workshops on kitchen design, decorating trends, beautiful bathrooms, and landscaping design. Plus, meet Mr. Fix-It, Lou Manfredini, on Saturday morning. Adult admission is $7, seniors just $4, and parking is free. A portion of ticket proceeds benefits Habitat for Humanity of Northern Fox Valley. Update, renovate, and revitalize your home with the Old House New House Home Show, February 9th through 11th at Pheasant Run Resort, St. Charles. For tickets and more information, visit KennedyProductions.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy talking about the new name for the Notre Dame University athletic teams and so forth.
And what their new mascot's going to be.
Mascot's got to go too.
They don't want the fighting Irish guy with his fists up and looking like a leprechaun.
Max Kellerman, the spokesman for everyone who votes for Democrats in this entire country, from MSESPN said so. And so it shall be. If you don't support that, you have no empathy. Empathy for a group of people that may be offended, no matter how small, no matter how misplaced that offense is, because that's the position of the cultural Marxists who want to remake society. And the Democrat Party is their vehicle. Tweet from Boulder Dash 1982. Hey, Dan, I'm a sales rep for a technology company. Can I sell you a phone system? Love to.
Can I sell
Can
you
you? Yeah. We're going to take this show to ham radio in about a week at this pace.
Pigeon carrier.
Just do it.
Yeah.
Do messages. Do pigeons to all of our listeners.
Or get
with
Western
little,
Union
yeah. Text from MP Slot, a tweet, from MP Slot. Easy solution to the Fighting Irish problem.
What?
The new name, the Fighting Iris.
Oh, okay.
The flower.
Yeah.
Oh, that's an idea. Take your calls 312-642-5600 turnkey.pro. Answer line 64636DA turnkey.pro. Text line. Pat in Elburn, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Good.
Say, I was just calling because, set the names aside of these teams. Most of the logos, aside from the Cleveland Indians, that have used Native American imagery have usually been shown pretty respectfully. I lived up in North Dakota for a long time, and we went through this with the Fighting Sioux for the University of North Dakota.
Yeah.
And the Sioux, the logo, the name, everything was actually always handled very respectfully. Same thing with the Fighting Illini. And same thing with the Chicago Blackhawks. The imagery that gets used is always very respectful. Now, in terms of the Fighting Irish, while the imagery, the logo itself, I mean, even look at the Washington Redskins, the name aside, the logo itself is still fairly respectful. But in the case of the Irish, could that be offensive? Sure. But then if you change the name, you could just call them the Irish, and it would just be a dude with his hands in his pockets on the side of their helmets.
Thanks for the call, Pat. It could be,
He looks like a Chicago politician, this little guy.
Yeah, it could
Little
be.
Leprechaun. Could be Mike Quigley. Congressman.
Could be,
Hey, mate.
Could be. I mean, it'd be like a Chicago Water Department worker or something. That could be the mascot for the Irish.
That's so racist.
Yeah, I know. Oh,
you
it's
always call me out because I do my Italian impersonation.
Is somebody offended? Oh, heavens. Because you understand, this is not about whether or not something is portrayed respectfully or intended respectfully. It's if one person is offended. That's the solidarity and marginality game that the left plays.
Well, yeah, because in Cleveland, it was just 3 people. 3 people who got them to drop Chief Wahoo.
A text from Ann B. Davis says, bowling ball, can we ban the arrogance and hubris of ND grads with the mascot? No. No, you cannot. Mike in Valpo.
Hey, I think the Irish should be renamed the intelligent, hardworking Irish, and you could have a scholarly fellow on the, a gender-neutral fella on as the mascot. And then I think the Hawks should be actually called the tax collectors.
All right, thanks, Mike. Appreciate that.
That's a
Dan in Libertyville.
Hello. And, I was thinking about this with the Democrats. They've been very disparaging themselves with the icon that they use of a jackass. And while it may be fitting, that poor jackass has to live with the Democrats as being their symbol.
It's true. You're offended.
That's very disparaging.
Thanks for the call, Dan. Jim in Downers Grove.
I'll tell you, I'm Irish, second generation, daily Democrat. And if they try to change that name, that guy better never go to any Irish party. Better stay the hell out of Southie and Boston. Because he ain't going to survive every time he walks in. And he's going to deserve everything he gets.
Yeah.
You want to see us fight? Try to change the name.
And thus the
Don't
name.
turn me to a damn Republican if they keep this crap up.
Oh, hey, welcome to the party, Jim. Thanks for the call. Appreciate it.
Taking it to the streets, huh?
Yeah.
Barroom brawls.
The Notre Dame, I go back again to honor politicians, good Catholic politicians that Notre Dame has previously honored.
Yeah.
Notre Dame Bidens.
Oh,
Yeah. What do you think? Honor Uncle Joe.
No.
Scrappy Uncle Joe.
Just have a dome.
The Notre Dame Rudies.
Oh, that'd be cute.
Yeah, Rudy Ruttinger. He's had some. He's lived a curious life, actually.
Yes, he has.
Yeah,
I don't think we have time to relitigate that.
The Notre Dame Montanas.
Which is nothing.
Theismanns.
Oh, yeah.
Joe Montana, Joe Theismann. Yeah, them Heisman Trophy winners.
What about the squirrels? I always go back to the squirrels.
You want every
team.
Every
called
nickname to be the
squirrels.
squirrels.
It's so stupid that why not just have squirrels? The flying squirrels. Niles West, when they made them get rid of the Niles West Warriors, where our parents went to school, they were thinking of the Nile West Squirrels. That was a final contender. I have to find out what they are.
Favorite nickname? Favorite college team nickname? Probably.
Oh, Gamecocks. No.
Okay, well that's
Herky.
yours.
Herky the Hawkeye.
UC Santa Cruz Banana Slugs.
Oh,
that's a fun one.
I have one of those shirts.
Jay in Lowell, Indiana.
Yeah, hey, how about when Peter Griffin from Family Guy played the New England Patriots England team, the Sissy Marys? There you go. Notre Dame Sissy Marys.
Sissy Marys. That's great. Thanks, Jay. Daniel in Algonquin.
Yeah, hi, Dan and Amy. How about the new Democratic logo as the Church of the Ledbetters, or if you want to be formal, the Church of the Holy Grievance.
There you go. Thanks for the call. Jeff in Arlington Heights.
Yeah, Dan and Amy, the first thought I had was snowflakes, and then I went to deplorables, but I settled on the Yazidis, the Christians that are having their heads cut off in Iraq.
Thanks, Jeff. I think call them what they are, the Notre Dame cultural Marxists.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
We'll pick up our conversation about the President's State of the Union address, take your calls, and get insight from Tim Carney, senior political columnist for the Washington Examiner.
And later, there were 5 different responses to the State of the Union address, including one from Stormy Daniels, who was on with Jimmy Kimmel, and wow, did it get a little uncomfortable. But first, let's go into the newsroom, and let's catch up on the news from here at home and from around the world. Here is Mike Scott.
Cubs co-owner Todd Ricketts is replacing Steve Wynn as head of the RNC Finance Committee. We'll have details on that developing story. Chicago alderman drops out of the race to replace Luis Gutierrez. The NTSB reveals the cause of a fire to an American Airlines flight at O'Hare and chastises the crew for not communicating. University of Chicago alumni want the school to block the Steve Bannon debate. Truck driver killed in a crash in New Lenox. A Bulls deal with the Pelicans falls through for Nico Mirotic. Illinois beat Rutgers in Big Ten hoops. Blackhawks sank the Predators last night. Your forecast, cloudy, breezy, and milder today with a high near 48, and flurries begin overnight with a low of 27. More Dan and Amy after Fox. WIND Chicago News Time, 7.
This is a Fox News alert. A call to set aside differences and seek common ground. I'm Dave Anthony.
The state of our union is strong because our people are strong.
President Trump saying there's been incredible progress in his first year.
Small business confidence is at an all-time high.
And he cited stock market gains, lowered taxes.
And something I'm very proud of, African-American unemployment stands at the lowest rate ever recorded.
Republicans applauded him 111 times. Democrats did not. Fox's Rachel Sutherland live in Washington.
Dave saying Americans are dreamers too. President Trump laid out the 4 pillars of his immigration reform plan: a path to citizenship for 1.8 million illegal immigrants, the border wall, the end of the diversity lottery program, and
limiting sponsorships to spouses and minor children.
The president also says he has signed an order directing the defense secretary to re-examine the U.S. military detention policy.
To keep open the detention facilities in Guantanamo Bay.
President Trump did not mention the Russia probe during the 80-minute speech, the 3rd longest in history. Dave?
Rachel, Democrats were not impressed. Some wore black.
I don't understand how a president of the United States can give a State of the Union speech and not mention climate change.
Senator Bernie Sanders. Congressman Joe Kennedy III delivered the formal Democratic response.
Many have spent the last year anxious, angry, afraid.
Now, just after the president's address, while walking out, he was overheard responding to a Republican lawmaker's question about releasing a controversial memo.
Don't worry, 100%.
Seeming to confirm he'll agree to make public a House Republican classified memo alleging abuse of government surveillance targeting the Trump campaign in 2016. Democrats opposed that release, crossing a line to undermine the special counsel's probe. Fox News, fair and balanced.
34 degrees. We have some clouds this morning. Winds from the south-southwest at 17 miles an hour. That gives us a wind chill this morning of 17 above. Charges are dropped against 2 men who claim Chicago police detectives beat them into confessing to a 1989 murder. Cook County judge formally tossed out convictions yesterday against Corey Batchelor and Kevin Bailey. Both claim they confessed to the stabbing death of a retired police officer's wife after detectives trained by former Chicago Police Commander John Burge beat them. The NTSB is revealing what caused an engine fire that forced an American Airlines flight to abort a takeoff at O'Hare in 2016. During a hearing yesterday, the NTSB says the plane's right engine exploded because of a flawed turbine disc. And during that hearing, NTSB Chair Robert Zumwalt was critical of crew members on board the plane.
The flight crew members and flight attendants did not coordinate in an optimal manner.
The agency called for more thorough flight inspections and better crew instructions. There's a new push in Springfield to raise the legal smoking age in Illinois to 21. AM 560's David Stewart has had a look at that new legislation.
The supporters of what's being called the Tobacco 21 bill are hoping that this is the year they can get enough votes to raise the legal age for the sale and possession of tobacco products from 18 to 21. Senator Julie Morrison of Deerfield is a sponsor.
We know that this initiative works at reducing smoking prevalency rates with both adults and young people over a period of time.
The bill would also raise the legal age for e-cigarettes to 21. David Stewart, NBC News Radio, Chicago.
Chicago sports. Illinois rolled Rutgers at the State Farm Center last night in Big Ten hoops, 91-60. Over in the Valley, Illinois State and SIU were winners. Tonight, it's Bradley in first place, Loyola at Carver Arena. On the ice, Blackhawks 2-1 winners over the Predators in Nashville. The news service of Staples. Staples has low prices on the organizational solutions your business needs to clear the clutter and focus on the job at hand this year. Like bankers' boxes, file folders, and storage bins, less mess equals more success. Visit Staples.com for more. Staples, it's pro time. 7:04 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Larry Elder is frustrated with Congress.
All Republicans voted the same way. Therefore, they need to have 9 votes from you guys, from the Democrats. So how can you say the Republicans shut down the government? When all Republicans voted to keep the government open, they couldn't get 9 Democrats to agree. Is this thing on? I don't think this thing is on. When you don't need a single vote from the other side, that's when you're in control.
The Larry Elder Show, weeknights at 7, right before Jay Sekulow at 9 on AM 560. The Answer.
The evidence mounts. A toddler nearly drowns and symptoms are reversed. A stroke patient regains mobility. An autistic child speaks for the first time in 14 years. A quarterback who suffered multiple concussions and memory loss has remarkable improvement. What's the connection? They all underwent hyperbaric oxygen therapy. It's approved for a variety of conditions like concussion, cerebral palsy, immune deficiency, fibromyalgia, consequences of stroke, and more. The Hyperbaric Centers of Chicago are leaders in HBOT that accelerates the body's natural healing process by breathing 100% oxygen in a total body chamber with increased atmospheric pressure. Your insurance may cover hyperbaric oxygen therapy. To learn more, call Hyperbaric Centers of Chicago in Deerfield at 847-945-HBOT or visit hbot.md 847-945-4268 or hbot.md. Hyperbaric Centers of Chicago, the hyperbaric therapy experts.
For many businesses, hiring is tough. You want access to highly qualified candidates fast. And you don't want to sign a long-term contract or pay upfront fees. That's why you need Indeed.com, delivering 6 times more hires than any other job site, according to independent research. Indeed is offering new users a $50 credit to give their first job post premium visibility as a sponsored job. Redeem this offer at Indeed.com/credit. That's Indeed.com/credit. Terms, conditions, and quality standards apply.
What happened? You used to go hours without visiting the bathroom. Now it seems like you're constantly getting up to pee. Listen, the makers of Super Beta Prostate are introducing a new wonder pill, Super Beta Prostate P3 Advanced, with 3 key ingredients that are great for your prostate. To celebrate, your first 30-day supply is free. Pay shipping and handling. Get P3 Advanced free. Call 1-800-215-9360. 1-800-215-9360. 1-800-215-9360.
7:07 and a check of the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim.
Thanks, Mike. Metro has a cancellation on the Union Pacific North Line this morning. Train 328 due downtown at 9:08. Canceled due to mechanical issues. Southbound Tri-State has a big jam. Washington Street to 137 after an earlier crash. The northbound delays are from 95th to LaGrange Road, from the Stevenson to 47th, and from the Eisenhower to the Bensonville Bridge. Northbound Veterans Memorial, a little congested approaching the Reagan Tollway. Eden's inbound 25 minutes from Lake Cook to Montrose. Outbound 22. Kennedy, 48 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. 24 from Montrose, 18 in the Express. Outbound 15 minutes to Montrose, 30 to the airport. Not Eisenhower. 48 minutes, 390 to downtown, outbound 34. Stevenson, 52 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 36. Orion, 20 minutes, 95th to the Loop. I-57, 23 minutes, I-80 to the Merge. Bishop Ford, 33. Northwest Indiana looks great. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast with our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Today, cloudy and breezy, high 45. Tonight, mainly cloudy with a late night flurry around, low 25. Breezy tomorrow with clouds and sun, high 28, with temperatures falling into the middle teens. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
32 at O'Hare. Next news at 7:30, and Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. President Trump's rather remarkable, story-filled State of the Union speech last night. I want to get to some of the individuals he highlighted, heroes and victims, the stories that were told, poignant and inspiring. But there was one comment that he made that probably won't get picked up by much of the D.C. press corps because they wouldn't even understand the point of it.
What's that?
And I don't know if Trump fully internalizes it either, but it's important to hear the president say it. And this was his New American Moment portion of the speech I wanted to pick up on. There was something very important that he said that isn't said enough, isn't recognized enough by politicians, people in positions of power in government. Trump on the New American Moment. See if you can pick up what I'm referencing.
This, in fact, is our new American moment. There has never been a better time to start living the American dream. So to every citizen watching at home tonight, no matter where you've been or where you've come from, this is your time. If you work hard, if you believe in yourself, if you believe in America, then you can dream anything. You can be. And together, we can achieve absolutely anything. Tonight, I want to talk about what kind of future we're going to have and what kind of a nation we're going to be. All of us together as one team, one people, and one American family can do anything. We all share the same home, the same heart, the same destiny, and the same great American flag. Together, we are rediscovering the American way. In America, we know that faith and family, not government and bureaucracy, are the center of American life. The motto is, "In God we trust."
So the D.C. press corps will pick up on the first 90 seconds of that, where he makes the play for unity, which he's made before.
Yeah.
But the key statement that he made the entire night, this key statement that came from the president, is that faith and family are at the center of America, not government. And point of fact, just to develop that, faith and family are the only real long-term restraints on government at any level. And to the extent that you see government and politicians pursue policies that undermine religious freedom, that undermine family, the family structure, you are growing government such that we are a government-centric society and not a free society anymore. family and faith are the restraints on government. It cannot be said enough. It's not internalized by enough. And I'm glad that the president said it, even if sometimes he doesn't act in furtherance of it. For more on the State of the Union, we're pleased to be joined by our friend Tim Carney, senior political columnist for the Washington Examiner. Tim, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Hey, thank you for having me. And before you get to what you want to talk to me about, I want to double down on what you just said with a slight amendment: faith, family, and community. And it's important, I think, to point that out. That for a lot of us, when we say faith, we mean our church community, but faith is also an individual thing. But I have to say that without that local community, whether it's government, a congregation, a swim club, whatever it is, if that's necessary for faith and family to be strong, and so local community, I always look at as that is the real check on government. That when Democrats say government is the things we do together, we have to say no. Actually, this swim club, this PTA, this parish breakfast are the things we do together. Government at best is one of the things we do together, and at worst is the thing that our politicians do to us.
I take that friendly amendment to completely agree. It's what de Tocqueville wrote about in Democracy in America. It's what our friend we just had on last week, Patrick Deneen from Notre Dame, soon to not be the Fighting Irish, but from Notre Dame, talked about in his new book how liberalism failed. And no, that's precisely right.
And I was glad that Donald Trump did mention that. And the point we make in our Washington Examiner editorial is that there's a bit of a shift in from the normal Trump rhetoric. Now, obviously, this is a speech that is written by many speechwriters, not just by Stephen Miller, like many of his campaign speeches, and not just sort of ad-lib like the average Donald Trump speech. And the shift is that he talked about faith and family more than he talked about sort of him being a strong leader or him having success. And the other important thing was the word strong and strength showed up a lot. I think I counted 13 times that those words showed up. But normally when he would talk about this, there were those sort of disturbing moments in the campaign or early on where he praised Putin for being strong leader, or talked about Rodrigo Duterte, the Southeast Asian sort of strongman, and praise those guys. And so we said this is sort of a scary totalitarian strength. But last night the strength was a sort of collective strength, or the strength of an average man. It was about the people, individuals, and communities being strong more than about the central state being strong. And it reminded me, you was talking about Houston and then asking Joe Kennedy, the way we often use the word strong in American culture, Boston strong, Houston strong, communities pulling together, not the central state having lots of power. So I thought that was a very salutary shift in the State of the Union, and that we thought was notable enough. That's what our Examiner editorial on this morning.
Yeah, and he wants to work with both parties. There was a message of unity as well, and about 45 minutes into his address, he talked about immigration and letting 1.8 million people, dreamers, stay here in the country. But there was some hissing going on by the Democrats when he briefly rolled out his plan.
Yes, there were a couple moments in there where I think Trump was trying to and was successful at driving a wedge between the Democrats and the majority of the country. This is typical politics. I think that Bill Clinton did it better than anybody else. Bush and Obama tried to do it, where where the Democrats are, that they can't applaud something you're going to say, and that most of the people are on your side. And a sort of end to chain migration combined with the sort of compassionate thing for the policy for people who were brought in here as children and either brought in illegally or overstayed their visas, that's a compromise that most American people like, but it increasingly looks like something that Democrats are not happy to take. So at best, Trump is sort of pressuring the Democrats into taking this deal they don't want to take, and at worst, he's highlighting that how far they are from the American public.
Can we get bipartisan agreement, do you think, on this truism that I identified yesterday, that Oregon Senator Ron Wyden is the spitting image of Super Dave as Funkhauser on Curb Your Enthusiasm? I mean, is that not true?
I think that the more interesting appearance last night was Congressman Joe Kennedy, the third generation of Kennedys. Both his sort of striking Irish look. One of my colleagues said under his breath, "Man, what a ginger!" when Kennedy went on stage, which I think maybe should be the next name for Notre Dame.
Yeah, sure.
Team.
Yeah, the gingers. Yeah, I like that.
But also the unfortunate lip balms that was distracting everybody from what Joe Kennedy was saying on TV.
Well, do you think he was effective at all? I mean, it sounds to me, it felt to me as if he was just reading a script, that he didn't feel anything, where President Trump's was more genuine.
It's hard to read
passion.
and not sound like you're reading. This was actually, I was just thinking about Barack Obama, and a lot of people criticize Barack Obama for all his use of a teleprompter. But what was notable was that Obama could read from a teleprompter and sound like he meant it. Have you guys tried this? I've done it before, and I've read from a teleprompter and sounded intelligible, but I didn't sound genuine. It's really hard to do.
Yeah.
So Joe Kennedy having trouble with that. Trump just gets sort of weirdly muted to the point where in the beginning of his talks when he's speaking from a teleprompter, everybody's wondering what sort of medication he took to just chill out and do it. And it has a positive effect, and I don't know why. Maybe it's just because we're all sort of bracing for sort of weird Trump and flying off the rails Trump, and so when he's acting calm, we sort of relax. So it's interesting watching Trump read.
Well, last night we got Storyteller Trump, and I got to tell you, he was a pretty good storyteller. I mean, he had good material to work with. They're incredible stories, unbelievable stories. But I mean, I cannot recall a more powerful moment during a State of the Union address than that young man from North Korea holding up his crutches and kind of thrusting them up in the air like as a defiant symbol for freedom. I mean, is there a better moment that you can recall in a State of the Union?
No, that was great. As a New Yorker, when the subway hero was invoked, a guy jumped on the tracks and pinned a child to the ground so that he wouldn't get run over by the train and was on top to protect himself. That was a really touching moment because of the backstory, but the visuals of the man there and the unreal circumstance that he fled from, and then the having the actual prop of the crutches was great. And again, back to sort of our original point, these are my favorite parts of the State of the Union address, and even Obama did this for all of his big governmentism. He had to say, because this is something Americans believe, and a politician, however collectivist has to or statist has to say it, that it's these things that is what makes America great. That we can be proud of, the big things that involve the government, winning World War II and saving Europe and landing on the moon, but sort of the everyday things, that this is what we expect of Americans. The Cajun Navy going to Houston after the hurricane, these people who have these amazing stories of freedom because they love America, or these heroes like the policewoman who adopted the baby and saved the woman who was possibly going to overdose from heroin. That these are the stories of individual heroes that Americans love. It's part of our DNA that we're looking for the person to go out there and to be a hero, or the groups like the Cajun Navy, the volunteers to do it, rather than always turning to the government in a way that Bernie Sanders might.
Yeah, and I think your point about it being other-regarding and the contrast between the egomaniacs on the floor and the Americans in the gallery on the second level couldn't be more stark, and I think that has great appeal. He is Tim Carney, senior political columnist for the Washington Examiner, WashingtonExaminer.com. Check out their review of Trump's State of the Union at WashingtonExaminer.com. Tim, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
You've made the switch, and it feels so good. You've switched to Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Coming up next, she's spoken. Somebody else watched the State of the Union and responded. But first, here's your forecast. It's going to be breezy out there. Kind of chilly right now. It's 27 degrees. We're going up to a high, though, of 48, so just wait for it. And then tonight, back into the 20s we go, a low of 27. And tomorrow, colder, times of clouds and sun, a high of just 28 degrees. Let's get into the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here is Jim Telemonte.
Thanks, Amy. Tri-State Tollway southbound. Stop and go from 132 to 137 after a crash. Northbound slow in pockets between 95th and 47th, and it's heavy from the Eisenhower to the Grand Avenue curve. Northbound Veterans Memorial, traffic is heavy. 63rd to the Reagan Tollway. Hayden's is 23 minutes. Lake Hook to Montrose, outbound 23 as well. Kennedy, now 55 minutes. O'Hare to downtown. 28 from Montrose, 24 in the Express. Outbound 30 to the airport. The Eisenhower, 50 minutes, 390 to downtown, and 36 from Manheim. Outbound 36 to 390. Stevenson, 52 minutes, 355 to the drive. Outbound 36 to Ryan, 20 minutes, 95th to downtown. Bishop Ford, around 44 minutes from 8094 to the merge, with delays starting around Dalton Avenue. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
It's going to happen. You're going to need a plumber. And when you do, choose AHS Plumbing and Sewer. Always honest service. That's what they stand for. Their team has over 25 years experience in the plumbing, drain, and sewer care business. If you have drains backing up, water leaks, or basement flooding, call AHS Plumbing and Sewer to solve your issue quickly and permanently. Serving Lake County, Illinois, and North Cook County. Over 700 Angie's List reviews and dozens of awards. A-plus rated with the Better Business Bureau. AHS Plumbing specializes in all types of drain and sewer care, including flood control. They're the company people know, like, and trust to care for their homes. Not the biggest, simply the best. Licensed, bonded, and insured, ready to serve your plumbing, drain, and sewer care needs in Lake County, Illinois, and North Cook County. Need a plumber? Call AHS Plumbing and Sewer. Call Dan the Plumber at 847-636-2124. That's 847-636-2124. Online at ahsplumbing.com. ahsplumbing.com.
Do you have sleep apnea? Are you tired of dragging your big, bulky CPAP device with you whenever you leave home? Yeah, well, I was too. That's why I'm so glad I called to try the Transcend Mini CPAP for 10 nights. I can't imagine living without it now. My Transcend is about as small as a soda can and weighs less than a pound. That's less hassle to carry than my shaving kit. Plus, I was able to add a battery pack that's as tiny as a deck of cards. But hey, that's not all. Transcend is FAA compliant too, which means I can finally sleep comfortably while flying. Heck, I can sleep comfortably anywhere now. So if that all sounds good to you, call now to give Transcend a try. You'll be glad you did.
Now you can try Transcend and sleep comfortably for 10 restful nights with a money-back guarantee. Just pay return shipping. So call minicpap.com now. 1-800-300-6551. Again, that's 1-800-300-6551. 1-800-300-6551.
Sterner, founder of your #1 home mortgage lender, Townstone Financial. I continue to get calls and emails from homeowners whose interest rates are above 4%. Please do yourself a favor. Take 1 minute. Dial 312-896-2111 or go to townstone.com and let us give you some no closing cost refinance options today. No closing costs means no hidden costs. I guarantee it, and I own the company. Remember, you don't have to restart your mortgage at 30 years or 15. We can customize the payback period. Also, if your home is worth less than what you owe, we still have the government HARP program, which will allow you to refinance and save money. And anyone who has an FHA mortgage or one with private mortgage insurance definitely needs to call me now so we can lower your monthly mortgage payments due to the recent increase in home values. The call is free and so is my time, so dial 312-896-2111. That's 312-896-2111 or go to townstone.com. That's TOWNSTONE.com. Townstone Financial is an Illinois mortgage licensee 6629 and MLS 136639, equal housing lender.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I'm Mark Gastineau. I played in the NFL for 10 years. I was diagnosed with CTE, with dementia, Alzheimer's, and Parkinson's. The fruits and vegetables that we take from Balance of Nature is the best thing that we could ever do. And I'm calling in now to order extra because my wife has been taking mine because she sees a difference in me. It is a wonderful thing that Balance of Nature is doing. I hear the testimonies on the radio, but I'm a testimony for myself. And the fruits and vegetables, if I don't take them every single day, my day is not going to go the same. So God bless you, and thank you for what you've done for my wife and I.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first month's order and ship it to you free. Call 800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
There's a place where you can get custom metal products. If you manage a commercial kitchen, hotel, condo building, or food-grade manufacturing plant, then no matter the type of metal or size of the project, the skillfully trained fabrication team at Vans Industrial has you covered.
Hi, I'm Dave Van Camp, president of Vans Industrial. Custom metal fabrication is the backbone of my company. We fabricate stainless steel countertops, wall coverings, hoods, landscape planter boxes, industrial fan housings, and more. Vans Industrial uses all types of alloys like carbon steel, aluminum, brass, and polished stainless steel. And we have a laser cutting machine. Our laser can customize almost any project. Our team can design, fabricate, and install your project today.
Call 833-VANS-IND for a free inspection of your facility. That's 833-VANS-IND. Interested in what else they do? Visit vansindustrial.com. That's VANS industrial.com. Vans Industrial, customizing for you, the customer.
AM 560, The Answer.
So it was not the big blockbuster that everyone thought it was going to be. Stormy Daniels viewing.
Everyone didn't think it was going to be a blockbuster.
Well, she was viewing the State of the Union with Jimmy Kimmel, and he had a President Trump down. He said, "Where did he touch you? Tell me where you touched him on this doll."
Did he have her jumping up and down on her trampoline?
No, he didn't.
Well, that's his shtick, isn't it?
It's his shtick. Well, he did get out 3 carrots and said, "What does Trump's junk look like? Pick." And she didn't play the game.
Probing interview.
Oh, yeah. But one thing, so she was just dancing around every question until this one was asked.
What did you think when Donald Trump brought those 3 women who accused Bill Clinton of sexual misdeeds to the debate in 2016? Did that seem odd to you, particularly odd to you?
Odd? No. Dirty, yes. And I know a lot about dirty, and even I wouldn't do that.
It seemed very dirty, yeah.
There's no admission of guilt, no admission. And it's just that she had signed a non-disclosure. And she wouldn't even say that she signed it, but he assumed that she signed it because they did this puppet game. It was really crazy.
Yeah. I'm so glad I missed it.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
We'll pick up our conversation about the State of the Union, talk about the infrastructure program proposal, trade policy, and other matters economic with Steve Moore from the Heritage Foundation at 7:37.
But first, let's go into the newsroom and catch up with our good friend Mike Scott.
34 degrees, clouds, and the president's first State of the Union address was a call for strong unity.
The state of our union is strong because our people are strong.
The president saying last night there's never been a better time to start living the American dream and challenge Congress to tackle immigration reform and infrastructure.
Every federal dollar should be leveraged by partnering with state and local governments and, where appropriate, tapping into private sector investment to permanently fix the infrastructure deficit, and we can do it.
The Democrats responded with Congressman Joe Kennedy.
Ladies and gentlemen, have faith. Have faith. The state of our union is hopeful, resilient, and enduring.
Kennedy promised Democrats would have a better deal for America. President Donald Trump has ordered the U.S. military prison at Cuba's Guantanamo Bay to remain open. Federal government is also cutting off food and water shipments to Puerto Rico today. The island's FEMA director saying the decision to officially shut off relief aid was made because of progress in restoring power and basic services there. Cubs co-owner Todd Ricketts set to become the RNC's national finance chair, replacing Las Vegas casino mogul Steve Wynn, who resigned that post following sexual misconduct allegations. All eyes on the Illinois Capitol at about lunchtime as Governor Bruce Rauner is set to deliver his State of the State speech today. Chicago police investigating after a man was shot and killed by his accomplice during an attempted home invasion on the north side. It happened last night near Eastwood and Western Avenues. Chicago sports. Illinois beat Rutgers for their second straight Big Ten basketball win, 91-60. Over in the Missouri Valley, Illinois State beat Missouri State, and SIU took down Drake tonight. It's a big battle at Carver Arena. Bradley takes on first place Loyola. On the ice, Blackhawks 2-1 winners over the Predators in Nashville. The news, a service of MedExpress Urgent Care. The flu is getting around this time of year, but fortunately, MedExpress is open 8 to 8 every day. Their full medical team will help you part ways with that flu, cough, or any other nasty virus keeping you down. Just walk in, no appointment necessary. MedExpress Urgent Care. 7:33 is our time. We'll have a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
A bad cold and flu season is upon us. The main difference between them is the flu brings a fever. Be prepared with the Exogen Temporal Scanner Thermometer, backed by more than 70 clinical studies.
Don't forget that you can watch Chicago's Morning Answer on the Income Store live video stream every morning at 560theanswer.com.
Sean Hannity is right. IRS problems can be devastating. I'm attorney Stephen Leahy, host of the IRS Radio Hour, heard right here on this station every Sunday evening at 5 o'clock. And I help business owners, 1099 employees, and those with unfiled tax returns solve their IRS problems. I know you want a local attorney you could look in the eye and hold accountable for solving your IRS problem, not some big box outfit without a Chicago connection. So if you fear the IRS will take your money, bank account, wages, or visit your home or job, and now they can take your passport, you need to hire me to solve your IRS problem for good. Today, I have a special bonus. If you are one of the first 25 to call and hire me to solve your IRS problem, we will prepare your 2017 tax returns for free. Call me, attorney Stephen Leahy, your Chicago IRS answer man at 312-664-6649. Again, that's 312-664-6649. One more time, 312-664-6649. Or visit us on the web at chicagotaxteam.com. Don't wait. Call me now and get the IRS out of your business and your life for good.
Policies issued by American General Life Insurance Company, Houston, Texas. Not available in all states. For details, visit AIGdirect.com.
If you're young and healthy, you don't need life insurance, right? Yeah, that's what I used to think too, until my brother died at 38. Joe left his wife with 2 kids, a mortgage, and a stack of bills she couldn't pay. Mary had to sell the house and move everybody into this tiny 2-bedroom apartment just to make ends meet. I never want to do that to my wife, so I got life insurance. I called AIG Direct and was really surprised how affordable it is. Just $14 a month for $250,000 of term life coverage. Listen, if you have a family, you should seriously think about getting life insurance. You'll feel a lot better having it, trust me.
Call AIG Direct for a free, no-obligation quote. The call takes less than 5 minutes, and you could save up to 70%. Call now, 1-800-600-5451. That's 1-800-600-5451. 1-800-600-5451.
Shoot Point Blank is Chicago's leading shooting range and firearms store. Featuring 20 climate-controlled shooting lanes, complete retail store, and firearm education classes for all experience levels. Whether you're a new or expert shooter, now you can experience the Shoot Point Blank difference and see for yourself why so many people are talking about Shoot Point Blank.
I can tell you, I was impressed as soon as I walked through the door. The employees were really helpful, very patient, and knowledgeable, too.
My wife and I had a wonderful experience. We felt very comfortable and informed.
Brett was very friendly and respectful, and he answered all my questions. Because I'm new to pistols, I'm grateful he was patient and helped me decide what to buy for my new firearm.
For a huge selection of new and used firearms, ammo, and state-of-the-art indoor shooting range, visit them in Hodgkins, Mokina, Naperville, or Merrillville. Or check out shootpointblank.com. Experience the difference. Shoot Point Blank.
7:36 and a check of the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. On the Edens inbound, it's slow Foster to Montrose. 22 minutes like Cook to the junction, outbound 29. Kennedy now runs an hour from O'Hare to downtown, 32 minutes from Montrose, 29 on the Express. Outbound 36 to the airport. Von Eisenhower, 52 minutes, 390 to downtown, 38 from Mannheim, outbound 36 to 390. Stevenson, 52 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 36. Ryan, 23 minutes from 95th to the Loop. Lakeshore Drive now heavy southbound Foster to North Avenue. Tri-State southbound bottled up 132 to 137 after a crash. Northbound delays Southwest Highway to 47th, and from the Eisenhower to the Grand Avenue curve. Northbound Veterans Memorial stop and go. Out to the Reagan Tollway, Army Trail to 290. Traffic service of Staples. Staples has low prices. The organizational solutions your business needs to clear the clutter, focus on the job at hand this year, like banker's boxes, file folders, and storage bins. Less mess equals more success. Visit Staples.com for more. Staples, it's pro time. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Jim, thank you. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. Cloudy, breezy, and milder today. High 48. Cloudy, brisk, and cold overnight. Snow flurries. Low 27. Currently 32. Next news coming up at 8. And Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Listen to AM 560 on your mobile device. Now available on iHeartRadio. Online at iHeartRadio.com.
If you're talking about it, I'll be talking about it. Dennis Prager here. Join me this morning at 11, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Trump's State of the Union address yesterday, he made it clear from his perspective that the era of economic surrender by the United States is over.
America has also finally turned the page on decades of unfair trade deals that sacrificed our prosperity and shipped away our companies, our jobs, and our wealth. Our nation has lost its wealth, but we're getting it back so fast. The era of economic surrender is totally over. From now on, we expect trading relationships to be fair and, very importantly, reciprocal.
All right, fair and reciprocal trade. Are those words music to the ears of one Steve Moore, Wall Street Journal columnist, Heritage Foundation economist, joins us now. Steve, economic surrender is over. Did you like that portion of the speech?
Well, good morning. I liked a lot of the speech. I loved the America is open for business again, and this idea that we are going to put America first in terms of cutting taxes, cutting regulations, making sure that we're the number one economic superpower in the world. And look, he took a victory lap, well deserved. The economy is booming under his stewardship, so that was all good. You mentioned the one area that makes me nervous about Trump's policies, Dan. Congratulations, which is
I'm in the market for a new washing machine, so that's why I had to mention it.
So look, I do think when you think about what could disrupt this incredible boom that we're in right now, I think it is trade protectionism, and so it does make me nervous. Does NAFTA need to be renegotiated and modernized? Yeah, I think it does. It could be improved, but I worry that Trump may get us out of NAFTA. I'm worried about some of his talk about tariffs against other countries in the world, which I don't think is a very good policy. But look, on balance, that was a great speech. Trump is one of my colleagues, Larry Kudlow, calls Trump, one of the one-man chamber of commerce for the United States. And that was a speech. This speech and his speech in Davos were both, appeals to people around the world and businessmen and people with capital and to come to the United States. This is the place you want to invest in. And you know what? He's right.
And President Trump, he touted, the low unemployment rates, but he also reminded us that we're going to have more take-home pay. If we didn't see it in this paycheck, we're going to see it in the next paycheck. But the Washington Post this morning is saying what he didn't talk about in what, as they describe his Reagan-esque speech, is that he didn't talk about the budget deficit.
Sorry, about the budget deficit?
Yeah, that there was no mention of that whatsoever.
Yeah. Well, look, I have to say this about Trump, and I tend to agree with him. For the last 30 years, the Republican Party has been obsessed about the budget deficit. Mm-hmm. And look, I've been a fiscal analyst for, when I first came to Washington in the early 80s, I was, one of the budget experts in town. I know this stuff back and forward. Would I like to see a balanced budget? Sure. Do I want budget control? Do I want to see a shrinking of the government? Yes. But I think that what Trump has done is the Republican Party is now a party of growth. It's a party of prosperity. We put prosperity ahead of balanced budgets, and let the Democratic Party be the party of austerity. It was amazing to me last night. listening to some of the commentary, and I did some of these, post-election debates, and the Democrats are still railing against the tax cut. I'm like, really? I mean, are you paying attention, to what's going on? I mean, you're actually going to say the tax cut isn't working when you've got, over 100 major companies from Exxon to Disney to Apple, to FedEx, announcing major bonuses for workers and all this money coming back to the United States. So, look, I love the fact that he's a tax cutter, that he's trying to make America the most prosperous place in the world, and so far so good.
Yeah. So I mean, they're not just railing against the tax cuts, I should say. They're railing against employment. They're unhappy about low unemployment.
They are. They're rooting against America. I mean, the left is rooting against Trump, rooting against America, rooting against the American worker. They don't want Trump's policies to work.
But
which is pretty pathetic, actually, when you think about it. It's pretty unpatriotic to say, "Gee, we hope we can score political points by." They'd love the American economy to crash. They've been waiting for the last 14 months for that to happen. And of course, it isn't happening. I'm predicting, guys, that we're going to get 4% growth this year. The reason we only got 2.6% growth in the fourth quarter, I agree with my buddy Art Laffer, that what happened is a lot of businesses delayed their capital spending and a lot of their output until 2018. Because that's when you get the tax cut, you get the lower tax rate. So you're going to see a very, very strong first and second quarter of this year. So we're going to have 4% growth. We haven't had that in 20 years.
But let me go back to something that you said. So I agree with you in terms of market positioning, the growth party versus the austerity party of sorts, even though, Democrats and austerity, they spend money like termites go through wood. But here's the thing. Ultimately, you can't grow, or you're going to cap out. You're creating structural infirmities if you don't deal with things like ballooning debt and unfunded liabilities.
True. So let me say this: that in fact, this was my line to Trump and to a lot of the congressional Republicans I just talked to the Senate Republican caucus yesterday, and I just made this point. Yes, of course, we're concerned about debt and unfunded liabilities and so on, Dan, you're exactly right. But you're not going to make any progress on any of those problems unless you get the economy growing. You just can't get from here to there if you don't have 3 or 4% growth. I mean, I've looked at the numbers. You could slash everything, but if you don't get the economy growing and people paying taxes and businesses expanding, when businesses are expanding and people are making more money, guess what? They pay more taxes. So the first step to getting the debt under control and these unfunded liabilities that you're talking about is to get back to a strong economic growth path. We only grew at less than 2% under Obama. Now we're growing at 3%, and I think we can get to 4%. That makes this so much easier to solve.
Well, that's true, but you have to introduce that into the conversation so that it becomes something that is discussed and debated and moved forward. So, for example, the plan that you've touted previously on the show, we've talked about the penny plan. I mean, that can at least be part of the conversation so that at some point in the not-too-distant future, there's actually movement on it.
I agree. And in fact, look, I agree with 90% of what Trump said last night. I am not in favor of getting rid of the defense sequester and the sequester. The great budget control we've had over the last 6 or 7 years was the Budget Control Act, which put caps on domestic and defense spending, and it actually has made a difference. I mean, government spending as a share of GDP is much lower today than it was in Barack Obama's first term, or actually George Bush's second term. So, let's keep the caps in play. Let's have some budget discipline. I love the idea. For those who don't know the penny plan, it's really an amazing formula. You just cut every government spending program by 1 penny in 2018. Then you cut it by another penny. That is a penny for every dollar they spend. So you reduce spending by 1 penny per dollar in 2018. Then you do that again in 2019, 2020, 2021. And guess what? You balance the budget. It really is that easy. It just requires spending control. You don't even have to slash spending. You just have to make sure the rate of increase is cut in half.
Well, that sounds like a brilliant idea.
Yeah, well, that's why Steve Moore's proposing it. Yes.
So President Trump yesterday had a number of people that they featured that were heroes, but they also featured business owners, and I thought that maybe you took that to heart. Steve Staub and Sandy Keplinger, who say they've seen a bump in their business this year. Did you like that?
You know what? I love that aspect of the speech. I think everyone agrees the fact that he had these amazing American heroes, and he called them out, and it really punctuated every point he wanted to make. I mean, I thought, another great moment was when he, called out that gentleman from North Korea. I don't know if you remember that moment.
That was the best moment ever.
Yeah, it was awesome. I mean, and he basically said, look, this is what North Korea is about. These people are tyrants. They're our enemies. They are killers, and they're killing their own people. And anybody, I mean, I can't believe the left, they seem to want to appease, Kim Il-sung rather than we've got to take their weapons away from them. That's the most dangerous thing in the world. So I love the fact that he did that. It was such an effective device to make his point, to show, whether he's a businessman or a victim of communism and so on. I think he's almost changed the way that State of the Union speeches will be given in the future.
He is Steve Moore, Wall Street Journal columnist, CNN senior economist, Heritage Foundation economist. Steve, thanks as always for joining us. Appreciate it.
Okay, guys, have a great week. Take care.
Too.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Hear about the big stories of the day, then talk about them right here on Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Heads finally roll in Hawaii. Why did it take so long after that missile alert that was a false alarm? We'll tell you what happened, but first, here's your forecast. We have some sunshine out there, but it's breezy. Right now, we have 32 degrees, but going up to a high of 48. Tonight, brisk and cold, a flurry late, low 27. And then for Thursday, breezy, much colder, times of clouds and sun, a high of 28 degrees. Let's get into our Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here is the one and only Jim Telemonte.
Thanks, Amy and Dan. Southbound Tri-State. Really heavy from 132, that's Grand Avenue in Gurnee, down to 176. Then also it's slow from 190 to Irving Park. Northbound jam. Southwest Highway to 47th, and from the Eisenhower to the Grand Avenue curve. Now, the Adams always fine. Reagan Tollway eastbound. Little tight Farnsworth to Eola. Northbound Veterans Memorial. Stop and go Boughton to the Reagan Tollway, and from North Avenue to 290. Mount Eden's 21 minutes. Lake Hook to Montrose. Outbound 31. Kennedy, an hour and 4 minutes. O'Hare to downtown. Outbound 36 minutes. In Van Eyck, an hour and 4 minutes. 390 to the Circle. Outbound 40 minutes. Stevenson, 58 minutes. 355 to the Drive. Outbound 36. Ryan, 25 minutes, 95th to the Loop, Lakeshore Drive, southbound Slow Foster to North Avenue, northbound from the Stevenson to Jackson. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Hey, I have an important MyPillow reminder. The buy one, get one free offer ends today. It's, January 31st today, and this deal is only available by using the promo code Amy and not available in stores. So I urge you to go online or call now and get your buy one, get one free MyPillow. You will get the best deal available. MyPillow helps me get a great night's sleep. I actually had to sleep in a hotel last night, and the pillow there, sorry, it just wasn't a MyPillow. I woke up with a stiff neck and a headache. So I really appreciate the MyPillow, and it's made in America. You can wash them and dry them. They're hypoallergenic, plus a 10-year warranty and a 60-day full money-back guarantee. So get your buy one, get one free MyPillows before the end of January, before the end of today, by going to MyPillow.com, type Amy in the promo code, or simply call 800-489-0201. That's 800-489-0201.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I'm Mark Gastineau. I played in the NFL for 10 years. I was diagnosed with CTE, with dementia, Alzheimer's, and Parkinson's. The fruits and vegetables that we take from Balance of Nature is the best thing that we could ever do. And I'm calling in now to order extra because of my wife has been taking mine because she sees a difference in me. It is a wonderful thing that Balance of Nature is doing. I hear the testimonies on the radio, but I'm a testimony for myself. And the fruits and vegetables, if I don't take them every single day, my day is not going to go the same. So God bless you, and thank you for what you've done for my wife and I.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first month's order and ship it to you free. Call 800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
This is Dan Proft with 60 Seconds of Sanity, sponsored by Upstream-Ideas.com. Trump's proposal on DACA, summarily pronounced DOA by Congressional Dems, improved the GOP's electoral chances in November bigly. Here's how. First, by seeing a path to citizenship for 800,000 DACA recipients and raising the Democrats $1 million more, Trump took Schumer's and Pelosi's mascots away from them. If you're offered the prospect of a path to citizenship, are you willing to pass on your chance to pursue the left's open borders fantasy? Second, by providing a path even for those who were eligible but didn't seek DACA designation, Trump outflanked the Democrats on the issues of fairness, good faith, and empathy. Third, Trump positioned himself with 70% of Americans on the immigration issues punch list, normalizing DACA designees, building the wall, prioritizing based on skills, and punishing sanctuary cities and states. Trump has put congressional Democrats in God's little acre. If they cut a deal, Trump is the pragmatic, reasonable businessman who got a decent bipartisan deal done. If they don't cut a deal, Trump is the pragmatic, reasonable businessman foiled by inflexible Democrats whom he met more than halfway. The art of this deal is Trump has painted Democrats into a corner. Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest-growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Jerry Kerrigan, one of the owners of F.J. Kerrigan Plumbing Company, a third-generation family-run business. Our trusted longtime accountant referred us to Signature Bank, and we've never been happier. On one of our first meetings, Signature Bank CEO Mick O'Rourke said, "You worry about running the business, and we'll take care of everything else." Since that initial meeting, Signature Bank has lived up to every promise they've made. The decision-making is local, the staff is consistent, and the service is outstanding. F.J. Kerrigan Plumbing understands the value of long-term customer relationships, and we plan to be a customer of Signature Bank for a long time to come.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
AM 560's Passport to Paradise contest is open to any legal U.S. resident, age 18 or older. To enter, download the AM 560 mobile app and fill out the entry form between January 22nd and February 9th, 2018. One grand prize winner will be randomly chosen on February 12th and will receive a 7-night trip for two to Riviera Maya, Mexico, including round-trip airfare and a junior suite at the Secrets Maroma Beach Riviera, Cancun. Approximate retail value $3,334. Visit 560theanswer.com for complete rules.
Message and data rates may apply.
You don't follow the herd. You blaze your own trail. And you're as adventurous in the kitchen as you are in life. Whether it's paddleboard yoga or Peruvian steak, you're the first to try new things. So are we. We're Green Chef, the first USDA-certified organic meal kit delivery service. We offer delicious meal plans for 7 different lifestyles: paleo, gluten-free, keto, vegetarian, vegan, carnivore, and omnivore. Want to be the first of your friends to try Green Chef? Discover our exclusive introductory deal by texting the keyword BITE to 543-543. We believe that cooking, just like life, should be all about experience and flavor. And by exploring dinner options with Green Chef, you'll try new recipes, techniques, and ingredients for bold, new restaurant-level flavors. It's like enjoying a new cooking class, but in your own home. To experience this culinary adventure, text now and discover our exclusive introductory deal. Text BITE to 543-543. That's BITE to 543-543.
As a parent, you want what's best for your children. That means sending them to a school where they'll get the superior education they deserve, and that also shares your values. That can be tricky these days, as public schools have changed and private schools can be expensive. Your household budget has already been cut to the bone, and it's hard to imagine where you'll find that extra money. Well, there's help to lessen that financial burden and provide your child with the very best education at half the cost. At AM 560, The Answer, we work with private schools throughout the Chicagoland area to provide tuition for families at half the normal cost. Just log on to halfpriceschools.com and you'll find some of Chicagoland's finest private schools, from preschool all the way through high school, at half the cost. And chances are there's a school right in your neighborhood. Invest in your child's education and future at halfpriceschools.com. A limited number of half-price vouchers are available. Go to halfpriceschools.com now.
AM 560, The Answer.
Oh, no. Mr. Miyagi. He's gone.
Yeah, that's the case. It turns out that he didn't accidentally press the ballistic missile attack alert in Hawaii accidentally.
Oh, that's what they told us. What, was he waxing something?
Wax on, wax off.
Was not accidental. It just turns out he's terrible at his job. He's been terminated, which is the big story here, that you actually had a government worker fired for incompetence. Mr. Miyagi would not take full responsibility for the incident. he resigned.
Oh, please.
But he took the stairs rather than the window. It turns out this is not the first time this has happened, where he believed there was an attack.
Oh, so they do these drills and he thought they were actual attacks.
He didn't think it was a drill.
Oh, that's a problem.
Yeah.
I mean, keep in mind, too, folks, that one man, a father of four, had a heart attack because he was so scared about this alleged incoming missile.
The worker had, quote, a history of confusing drill and real-world events on at least 2 prior occasions, said retired Brigadier General Bruce Oliveira, who led the internal investigation. Well, I'll tell you what, that's a terrible position for somebody who cannot distinguish between a drill and real-world events. That's not the guy you want in charge of the alert if he can't distinguish practice from reality.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
You might want to find another line of work, which he has that opportunity to do. I'm just surprised it took him that long to figure this out. But they lied to people, too, and said, he accidentally pressed it. Not once, but twice.
Well, wait. How about this, though? The history of confusing a drill and a real world event. He has a history of not being able to tell what's real and what isn't. Okay, we're going to put him on the front line of our national defense response. Classic.
Yeah.
Classic government.
Hey, we want to remind you that you can spark some new ideas to update, renovate, and revitalize your home at the Old House, New House Home Show at Pheasant Run Resort in St. Charles. It's from February 9th through the 11th. And this morning, we're giving away a family 4-pack of admission tickets to the Old House, New House Home Show at Pheasant Run Resort to caller number what?
6.
Caller number 6, 312-642-5600, and good luck. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
We're going to talk to Bob Pennington, one of the actual Green Berets portrayed in the movie 12 Strong. He's portrayed by Michael Shannon, who is a liberal goof, but he's a good actor. We'll talk to Green Beret Bob Pennington at 8:08.
But first, let's go into the newsroom and say good morning once again to Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, Cubs co-owner Todd Ricketts to replace Steve Wynn as RNC finance chair. Another Chicago alderman dropping out of the race to replace Luis Gutierrez. Bulls' deal with the Pelicans has fallen through for Nico Mirotic. Illinois, another Big Ten basketball win, and the Blackhawks were winners over the Predators. Cloudy, breezy, and milder today. WIND Chicago News Time, 8 o'clock.
This is a Fox News alert. President Trump says we're making incredible progress. I'm Dave Anthony.
Together, we are building a safe, strong, and proud America.
And he says the state of our union is strong, touting a strong economy, booming stock market, and lower taxes.
And millions of Americans will have more take-home pay starting next month.
Fox's John Decker was there, now live at the White House.
President Trump, in an 80-minute speech, made a pitch to lawmakers for a massive $1.5 trillion infrastructure bill as one of his major legislative priorities this year.
We build gleaming new roads, bridges, highways, railways, and waterways all across our land.
On immigration, the president once again offered a compromise to Democrats for getting a deal done.
For over 30 years, Washington has tried and failed to solve this problem.
Democrats continue to insist that any agreement must include protections for so-called dreamers who were brought to the country illegally by their parents. Dave?
John, Republicans applauded the president 111 times while most Democrats sat. House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi at times wincing as he spoke. Congressman Joe Kennedy delivered the Democratic response.
We all feel the fractured fault lines across our country.
He says people are anxious and afraid, and the economy is lifting up millionaires and billionaires, leaving everyone else behind. The president spoke last night about Americans earning more money lately. A report just out shows wages and benefits for U.S. workers increased 2.6% last year, the most since 2015. Nearly 4 months after a gunman shot up a Las Vegas concert from a hotel room, killing 58 people, we still don't know why he did it. But this is new. An Arizona man who had been named as a person of interest in court documents tells AP he did sell ammunition to Stephen Paddock. Douglas Haig has not been charged. Of course, Paddock killed himself. Fox News, fair and balanced.
Fair skies this early morning, 34 degrees at 8:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning, I'm Mike Scott. Cubs co-owner Todd Ricketts set to become the Republican National Committee's National Finance Chair, replacing Las Vegas casino mogul Steve Wynn, who resigned from that post following sexual misconduct allegations. A formal vote to install Ricketts will be held at the RNC winter meetings this week. That gathering kicks off today. Many eyes will be on the Illinois Capitol around lunchtime as Governor Bruce Rauner is set to deliver his State of the State speech. And an accusation from the Democratic frontrunner in the race for Illinois governor, who says Governor Bruce Rauner is to blame for the most recent Legionnaires outbreak at the Quincy Veterans Home. J.B. Pritzker stopped in Quincy yesterday to talk with those at that veterans facility. Charges dropped against two men who claim a Chicago police detective beat them into confessing to a 1989 murder. Cook County judge formally tossing out convictions yesterday against Corey Batchelor and Kevin Bailey. The NTSB is revealing what caused an engine fire that forced an American Airlines flight to abort takeoff at O'Hare in 2016. During the hearing, the NTSB says that plane's right engine exploded because of a flawed turbine disc. And during a hearing yesterday, NTSB Chairman Robert Sumwalt was highly critical of crew members on board that plane.
The flight crew members and flight attendants did not coordinate in an optimal manner.
Dozens were hurt, but no one died in that October 2016 incident. Chicago sports, Big Ten hoops, Illinois beat Rutgers 91-60. Over in the Valley, Illinois State and SIU were winners tonight. It's a big battle at Carver Arena as first-place Loyola takes on Bradley. Blackhawks looked good last night, winning over Nashville 2-1. Anton Forsberg turning away 42 shots. The news service of Accountemps. When you could use help closing your books and need additional staff, it's time to call Accountemps. They can provide you with bookkeepers and other accounting and finance pros on a temporary or project basis and fast. Call today, Accountemps, a Robert Half company. 8:04, time for the AM 560 Business Beat from the Fox Business Network, a service of Turnkey.pro. Here's Ginny Casola.
From the Fox Business Network, Fujifilm is buying a controlling interest in Xerox. The combined company will be called Fuji Xerox. It's a deal worth more than $6 billion. Ericsson says it eliminated 10,000 jobs at the end of last year, and two of its top executives will be leaving the company. The Swedish tech company used to be known for its phones. Now it makes equipment for cell towers. It's facing competition from suppliers in China. Drug maker Eli Lilly's business improved in its recent quarter, and it is upbeat about this year. Discount fashion chain H&M is changing its focus. It says it will work on integrating physical stores with online shopping. H&M sales were weaker over the holiday season. The Dow Jones Industrials closed down 362 yesterday. NASDAQ dropped 54. S&P lost 31. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Ginny Cosola.
8:05 in Chicago. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
On AM 560, The Answer. Your opinion counts. And we want to know how you feel about the news stories we're talking about each and every day. Make sure to vote in the M13 Graphics Opinion Express poll at 560theanswer.com. Listen for today's poll question at 10:30 a.m., 12:30 p.m., and 3:30 p.m. And hear the results each evening at 5:30. It's the M13 Graphics Opinion Express poll on 560theanswer.com.
Don't forget that you can watch Chicago's Morning Answer on the Income Store live video stream every morning at 560theanswer.com.
When you're hiring, you want qualified candidates fast, and it can be hard to know where to find them. More than 3 million businesses use Indeed.com, the world's #1 job site. Whether you need entry-level or highly skilled employees, Indeed helps you find great talent and make the right hire. Indeed is offering new users a $50 credit to give their first job post premium visibility as a sponsored job. Redeem this offer at Indeed.com/promo. That's Indeed.com/promo. Terms, conditions, and quality standards apply.
What happened? You used to go hours without visiting the bathroom. Now it seems like you're constantly getting up to pee. Listen, the makers of Super Beta Prostate are introducing a new wonder pill, Super Beta Prostate P3 Advanced, with 3 key ingredients that are great for your prostate. To celebrate, your first 30-day supply is free. Pay shipping and handling. Get P3 Advanced free. Call 1-800-215-9360. 1-800-215-9360. 1-800-215-9360.
8:07 and a check of the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. On the Kennedy inbound, we're seeing delays from Austin to the Bird Circle. It is 1 hour from O'Hare to downtown, 42 minutes from Montrose, 35 in the Express. Outbound 18 minutes to Montrose, 36 to O'Hare. Eden's 21 minutes, Lake Cook Junction, outbound 26. On Eisenhower, an hour and 4 minutes, 390 to downtown, 50 minutes from Manheim, outbound 40 to 390. Stevenson, 58 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 36. Ryan, 30 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 20 minutes, I-80 to the Merge, Vision 438. Southbound tri-state delays are from 132 to Bradley and Lawrence to the O'Hare Oasis. Northbound Southwest Highway to 47th, and from the Eisenhower much of the way to the O'Hare Oasis. The Adams Tollway is fine. The Reagan Tollway has cleared up. Northbound Veterans Memorial, slow bout into the Reagan Tollway and North Avenue to 290. Northbound 53, tight Algonquin to Kirchhoff. Southbound Palatine Road to Kirchhoff. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Chip Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast with meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Cloudy day with wind gusts up to 30 miles per hour, high 45. Mainly cloudy with a late night flurry tonight, low 25. Breezy with gusts up to 30 miles per hour tomorrow. Clouds and sun throughout the day with a high 28, with temperatures falling into the middle teens. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
Currently 32 at O'Hare. Next news coming up at 8:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Advanced Planning Advisors, bringing you Smart Money Talk with Mike Moylan and Rob Curvin, Saturday mornings at 6.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Among those that were invited guests of the President and the First Lady for the State of the Union address yesterday, recognized throughout the President's speech, one was an officer, Army Staff Sergeant Justin Peck, who, as Trump explained, near Raqqa last November, along with a brother-in-arms, Chief Petty Officer Kenton Stacy, were on a mission to clear buildings that ISIS had rigged with explosives so as to provide safe return for civilians to Raqqa. And his brother-in-arms, Justin Peck's brother-in-arms, Kenton Stacy, tripped an explosive and was severely injured, and Justin Peck saved his life and earned a Bronze Star in so doing, and that was proper recognition. That was another one of those really kind of powerful, emotional moments to see a young man like Justin Peck and to hear the story as told by the President of the United States about his heroism on the battlefield. And, of course, these are movies we like, too. So many great movies about heroic American soldiers. And there's another one that's recently been released called 12 Strong. This tells the story of Captain Mitch Nelson leading a special forces team in Afghanistan to develop a partnership with the Northern Alliance, take down the Taliban and its al-Qaeda allies. And we're pleased to have one of the actual special forces soldiers, one of the actual Green Berets portrayed in the movie 12 Strong. He is Bob Pennington. And Bob Pennington served the United States Army for more than 30 years, 26 of those years within the Special Forces Regiment that we know as the Green Berets. And by the way, he's portrayed by Michael Shannon in the movie, which is it's pretty good.
Not by Chris Hemsworth.
No. But Michael Shannon, he made his mark in Boardwalk Empire.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, there.
And then Nocturnal Animals, and he's actually in The Shape of Water, which is this Academy Award.
I hate that movie.
It's a terrible movie.
Oh my
He's a good actor, though, so that's a pretty good compliment,
Nocturnal
I think.
Animal is good.
Yeah, I'd put to say he's an A-list actor these days, so that's pretty good. Bob Pennington, thank you so much for joining us, sir. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
So are you satisfied with Michael Shannon portraying you, or were you going for Chris Hemsworth too?
No, I'm satisfied.
Okay.
I thought he did a very, very good job.
Well,
in my opinion.
Well, tell us the story and then how you think it translated on film.
Well, the movie itself catches the spirit of the Special Forces team, how we bond together. It is a close-knit
brotherhood. For us, we had been together for several years. Even in the movie, there's a portrayal of the captain, Mitch Nelson, who's actually Mark Nooch, that he is actually pulled off the team and then replaced back on the team. And that is actually how it happened. Once the attacks went off and we were notified that we would be one of the teams, I was the detachment commander at the time, and I had only had about 8 guys with me in the headquarters element, or in the team element, and 2 of them had gone off to school. So when I was notified that I was one of the teams to go early, I said, well, the first thing I need a full team. Yeah. Give me my captain back, because he just left. I don't need to retrain another captain. He knows all the SOPs, the standing operating procedures, and it would be a perfect fit. And then I tried to get the other two guys who had gone off to Fort Bragg, North Carolina, to come back, and but they could not be replaced. They told them to just keep them there at the school. I think they were going through sniper school at the time. Mm-hmm. And then they the headquarters element gave me 3 additional guys, so I had a full team, 12-man team, and Mark was the captain, and off we went.
Right, and your mission was to call in airstrikes, but when I'm watching the movie trailer, it seems like you were doing a lot of fighting on horseback. How did that come to fruition?
Well, the actual mission wasn't just to call airstrikes. The mission itself was unconventional warfare, and within that task, your main objective is also to advise and assist. But the main thing they wanted us to do is to get on the ground and assess the situation, because nobody knew what was going on the ground in Afghanistan. So they wanted to send a team in there, and we were the first to hit the ground. They wanted to send a team in there, assess the situation, see what the Northern Alliance had, what they were capable of doing, and then and constantly feed this information back to the headquarters. Well, it just so happened that as we were doing this, we were fighting along the way. Exactly. Now, of course, the movie itself is a fictional portrayal. The Afghans did ride on the horses. They did fight in combat on the horses. We rode the horses, but we were not actually in charges on the horses. But most of everything else you saw was pretty good. There's a scene in there where I actually injure my back, and that is absolutely true, and it happened just that way. The horses were very small. The stirrups were very short stirrups, and so my legs my feet were pushed up high, and so it put a strain on my back as I was riding.
Well, if you could, I mean, what's your, from your engagement with our erstwhile Afghan allies and your time in theater there, what's your prognosis for Afghanistan, particularly as we see an escalation of violence as recently as this weekend? Yeah. What's your prognosis for eradicating the Taliban and for our continued presence in Afghanistan?
Yeah, I mean, it's that country's been at war forever. The one thing we did wrong was as we pulled out, as the smaller forces pulled out that were actually engaged with the Northern Alliance forces, we sent in huge amount of forces and had been bogged down ever since. The Afghans are in a better place than they were before. I will tell you that. That is the truth. They need to continue and do what they're doing as far as the engagements with special forces, Green Berets, teaming up together. Dostum, who is now the first elected vice president, has continued the fight to the enemy. You're still going to try to get people to come in there as a safe haven because they've been doing it for years. I still think they're on the right path, but the path is smaller forces, Green Berets, attached with these teams, the Afghan teams, and also some of the militia, and to, again, set up positions where they can easily defend those positions and take the fight to the enemy.
What was the most harrowing tale or moment in your service there? Perhaps that's recounted in 12 Strong.
The BM-21 strikes were that was pretty amazing. I mean, they shot us with several rounds, several hundred rounds. I actually thought at that time we had lost a team who were up on the cliffs, which they actually do show in 12 Strong, and we thought we lost our Charlie element because we did something that no teams have ever done, and that was we decentralized down to 4 3-man teams and spread out through the battlefield, and that was something that had not been done, and I don't believe it had been done afterwards as well. So that was pretty harrowing in itself. And then the constant, we were in positions that we were on top of mountains that all the sides were completely mined except for the one entrance path that you had to come to, because you got to remember this whole country was mined back during the Russian invasion, and so there were mines everywhere. So everyone had to be careful of where they were riding or walking or anything. The other part to that is also riding on those goat heels up in the mountains. You're traveling on a 18-inch trail on a horse that is wild, and our SOP was, hey, if he takes a stumble, you better shoot him, otherwise he's going to kill us.
He is.
So
I'm sorry.
The whole time you're thinking about this.
He is Bob Pennington. He's former Green Beret, 30 years of active duty service, 26 of those as Green Beret. He is portrayed by Michael Shannon in the movie 12 Strong, which just came out about a little less than 2 weeks ago. It's a Jerry Bruckheimer film, the same guy who produced Black Hawk Down. So you know this is going to be a good flick. I haven't seen it yet, but I certainly will. Bob Pennington, thank you so much for your service to the country, and thank you so much for joining us this morning to talk about that service and this movie. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Listen to podcasts of Dan and Amy from the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Coming up next, JK3 responds and what was on his lips. But first, here's your forecast. We're going to have plenty of sunshine, but it's breezy out there. Right now, we have a current temperature of 33 degrees at O'Hare, going up to a high of 48. Tonight, flurry late, low of 27. And for tomorrow, breezy, much colder, with times of clouds and sun, a high of 28 degrees. Let's get into the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here is Jim Telemonte.
Thanks, Amy and Ed. The north-south tollways are heavy this morning. Tri-State southbound really clogged up from 132 to Bradley. Never really recovered from an earlier crash at 137. It's also slow southbound Lawrence to the O'Hare Oasis. Northbound, jam Southwest Highway to 47th. And slow from the Eisenhower most of the way to the O'Hare Oasis. Northbound Veterans Memorial, stop and go from the Boughton Toll to the Reagan Tollway and North Avenue to 290. The Adams and Reagan Tollways are just fine. Eden's 21 minutes, Lake Cook to Montrose. Outbound 25. Kennedy, an hour and 9 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, much quicker in the Express. Outbound 31 minutes. The Eisenhower, 50 minutes, 390 to downtown. Outbound 40. Stevenson, 54 minutes, 355 to the drive. Outbound 36. The Ryan is 30 minutes, 95 to downtown. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Shoot Point Blank is Chicago's leading shooting range and firearms store. Featuring 20 climate-controlled shooting lanes, complete retail store, and firearm education classes for all experience levels. Whether you're a new or expert shooter, now you can experience the Shoot Point Blank difference and see for yourself why so many people are talking about Shoot Point Blank.
I can tell you, I was impressed as soon as I walked through the door. The employees were really helpful, very patient, and knowledgeable, too.
My wife and I had a wonderful experience. We felt very comfortable and informed.
Brett was very friendly and respectful, and he answered all my questions. Because I'm new to pistols, I'm grateful he was patient and helped me decide what to buy for my new firearm.
For a huge selection of new and used firearms, ammo, and state-of-the-art indoor shooting range, Visit them in Hodgkins, Mokina, Naperville, or Merrillville. Or check out shootpointblank.com. Experience the difference. Shoot Point Blank.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I'm Mark Gastineau. I played in the NFL for 10 years. I was diagnosed with CTE, with dementia, Alzheimer's, and Parkinson's. The fruits and vegetables that we take from Balance of Nature is the best thing that we could ever do. And I'm calling in now to order extra because of my wife has been taking mine because she sees a difference in me. It is a wonderful thing that Balance of Nature is doing. I hear the testimonies on the radio, but I'm a testimony for myself. And the fruits and vegetables, if I don't take them every single day, my day is not going to go the same. So God bless you, and thank you for what you've done for my wife and I.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first month's order and ship it to you free. Call 800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
I can't get the alarm company on the phone to save my life. My alarm's going off all the time, and I don't know why. It's driving me crazy.
Call Alarm Detection Systems. We have live reps answering phones 24/7, 365. No auto attendant. Call 630-844-6300. Give us your business and get better customer service in return. Visit adsalarm.com. Alarm license number 127000143.
I own a fast food restaurant that was broken into early this morning. They tore the alarm panel right off the wall, and Alarm Detection Systems came in the same day to replace it.
Same-day service is available to all our customers. Never worry about your security system. Get to know Alarm Detection Systems. Visit adsalarm.com or call 630-844-6300. That's 630-844-6300. Alarm license number 127000143.
If you have pain, listen up. Dennis Prager here. You don't need to live in pain. Let me repeat that. You don't have to live in pain. Chronic pain is the worst, whether it's from an accident or pain that just develops. So, Chicagoland, you're in luck. Dr. Ken Candido is one of the nation's most respected and successful pain doctors. He's been voted one of Chicago's best pain doctors several times. Bottom line, he's the pain doctor you need. Dr. Candido of Chicago Anesthesia and Pain Specialists will help you get off pain medication and all of its side effects. How? By finding the source of your chronic pain and fixing it.
This is Ken Candido of Chicago Anesthesia Pain Specialists. Let's make you pain-free.
Call Dr. Ken Candido and make an appointment with a cutting-edge, respected, and successful pain physician. Go to mypainchicago.com. That's mypainchicago.com. Thousands have been helped with their chronic pain, and you can be the next one. Get the phone number and all the info you need at mypainchicago.com.
Old Man Winter is here, and you'll need a heating and cooling company you know you can depend on. Look no further. That company is the original Arlington Heights Heating and Cooling. They're not one of those massive impersonal companies with inexperienced technicians and subcontractors. Arlington Heights Heating and Cooling sends only their own highly skilled technicians. From service to installation and everything in between, their work quality and customer service is the best. The original Arlington Heights Heating and Cooling keeps homes and businesses comfy and warm. Call Carrie at 847-545-1700 or visit arlingtonheightsheatingandcooling.com. Mention AM 560 and receive 20% off your first service call. That's Carrie at 847-545-1700 or online at arlingtonheightsheatingandcooling.com. The original Arlington Heights Heating and Cooling, not the biggest, just the best.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, we'll get a call in response to our discussion with Green Beret Bob Pennington about the movie 12 Strong. Bob and Waukegan, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, Dan, I want to let you know that we are never former Green Berets. We are always a Green Beret.
Oh, okay, fair point.
Okay.
I'm the first generation, and my son, who was killed in Afghanistan, was second generation, and now I have my grandson is now in training to be another Green Beret. So, and they always come to me to ask me what I would do in a situation. So we're always a Green Beret.
All right, thanks, Bob.
Sorry for your
Appreciate
loss,
that. Take your
No
point
problem.
is well taken. Thank you. And I wanted to get to this, Amy. I know this is something near and dear to your heart.
What? Are you trying to figure me out?
No.
Good luck with that.
Stop doing that.
Come on, that's just silly talk.
There's a petition out there. Don't let pets starve.
Oh yeah.
Of course, nobody wants a starving pet. The way to prevent starvation of pets is to include pet food in welfare benefits. In other words, welfare beneficiaries, SNAP program beneficiaries, for example, should be able to buy pet food with their welfare benefits. Is that something that you think is a good idea?
Well, it's really difficult. I mean, where I go, the Pet Supply Plus or Petco, excuse me, they have a bin set up for, if your animal passed away, or maybe if you put an animal down and you have some extra food,
Sure, yeah.
there's a donation bin so people in need can take that food or like a doggy bed or, a watering hole. But to actually, it's hard because you have to decide sometimes to feed your children or feed your pets. And sometimes you want to feed your pets because they're more loyal, they're more obedient, and downright they like you more than your children.
All right, so children, you shouldn't
mess with mom because she's going to give the food.
Should you? I'm
to
sorry.
the pets.
I'm not clear. Do you want to include pets or do you want to exclude food for children?
No, I think that's a hard one because I'm very compassionate, especially about animals. So, how do you feel?
I feel that compassion with other people's money is false compassion.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
I
they
like
shouldn't.
I like
should know
private
better.
action.
They shouldn't get an animal to begin with.
Well,
if they can't afford to feed it.
If they can't afford, there's a predicate question, isn't there? If they can't afford to support themselves, should they be taking on other responsibilities? Interesting.
Probably not.
Yeah. And by the way, we have sort of expanded the items that one can purchase under the SNAP program in a ridiculous fashion. I mean, we've done this segment a number of times, and people tell the stories of the person with a EBT card buying lobster thermidor in front of them at the grocery store. You can see where people feel like they're getting one put over on them, the people that are paying the freight, not enjoying the benefits. I think everybody's fine with, hey, somebody needs a temporary hand up, hard times, an event. Okay, sure, of course. But the kind of lifestyle of dependency, and now we're going to expand that lifestyle to include other accoutrements like pets.
Should they just eat their pets if it gets bad?
Are there other options? Or is that it? It's
no,
either,
in a lot of third world countries, you don't see stray animals because they've been eaten.
Right. It's actually a cautionary tale. So we probably shouldn't pursue Venezuelan public policy,
right?
If we all don't want to end up chasing our pets around for lunch. Good point.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer,
we're going to take your favorite moments from both the Trump State of the Union address, but more importantly, the fun part, the Joe Kennedy III response.
And was it chapstick or Vaseline on his lips? You decide.
Vaseline wasn't just on his lips.
Okay.
At 8:38.
So now let's go into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
Well, we have fair skies right now, 35 degrees. President Trump getting high marks on his first State of the Union address, if you believe a CBS News poll that found about 3/4 of Americans they surveyed said the president did a good job. And the president's speech appears to be getting traction this morning on the street.
I just liked his whole demeanor and just, the tax situation that he spoke about.
As long as he does everything he said he's going to do, we'll be all right.
He was trying to preach unity.
Democrat Congressman Joe Kennedy says Democrats may have a better deal than President Trump.
There are parts of our economy, there's parts of our country that are doing really well, as there were under an Obama administration. There's parts that are still struggling to try to find their footing. And that's bigger than just a tax cut that is tilted dramatically towards the wealthy.
West Virginia Democrat Senator Joe Manchin appears to be a fan, saying he liked what the president said about opioids and infrastructure.
We have a horrific problem in our state and our whole entire country. We need funding now for that. So he touched on that. Infrastructure, I said, I've never seen a pothole that had a Democrat or Republican's name on it.
Manchin says Trump's message in the address about clean coal struck a nerve with his constituents. Cubs co-owner Todd Ricketts set to become the next Republican National Committee Finance Chair. A formal vote to install Ricketts will be held at the RNC winter meetings this week. In fact, that gathering kicks off today. Many eyes in the state will be on the Illinois Capitol around lunchtime as Governor Bruce Rauner is set to deliver the State of the State address. Chicago police are investigating after a man was shot and killed by his accomplice during an attempted home invasion on the north side. It happened last night near Eastwood and Western Avenues. And state lawmakers are considering a plan to shore up the state's retirement system with a massive borrowing plan, $107 billion. Committee hearings are set on that plan tomorrow to issue bonds to get the pension system close to being fully funded and gamble that the interest the state would pay on the bonds is less than what the pension fund's investments would earn in the market. Chicago sports. Fighting Illini Big Ten basketball winners over Rutgers in the Valley. Illinois State and SIU winners tonight. We'll watch with some interest at Carver Arena as Bradley battles first place Loyola. Blackhawks launched the second half with a 2-1 win over the Predators in Nashville. The news, a service of Pringles. When you stack up different flavors of Pringles, you create amazing new flavors. Stack up cheddar cheese, jalapeno, and French onion dip Pringles. You've got yourself that 3-layer dip stack, which makes you a genius. Stack different flavors, create endless new ones with Pringles. 8:33, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher breaks down a huge win for the president.
What I would say is this is what leadership looks like. What I would say is, yep, we still got a long way to go. The government is reopened because the president didn't blink. You know what was different? It was in the messaging. You know who delivers a message like a bolt of lightning? Yeah, that guy that lives at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue these days.
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
Get your truly free credit score and free credit monitoring from Credit Karma. Download the Credit Karma app today. Credit Karma. Get knowing.
It's going to happen. You're going to need a plumber. And when you do, choose AHS Plumbing and Sewer. Always honest service. That's what they stand for. Their team has over 25 years experience in the plumbing, drain, and sewer care business. If you have drains backing up, water leaks, or basement flooding, call AHS Plumbing and Sewer to solve your issue quickly and permanently. Serving Lake County, Illinois, and North Cook County. Over 700 Angie's List reviews and dozens of awards. A-plus rated with the Better Business Bureau. AHS Plumbing specializes in all types of drain and sewer care, including flood control. They're the company people know, like, and trust to care for their homes. Not the biggest, simply the best. Licensed, bonded, and insured, ready to serve your plumbing, drain, and sewer care needs in Lake County, Illinois, and North Cook County. Need a plumber? Call AHS Plumbing and Sewer. Call Dan the Plumber at 847-636-2124. That's 847-636-2124. Online at ahsplumbing.com. ahsplumbing.com.
It is 8:35 and a check of your morning ride to work in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Let's get the very latest with Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. The Edens has an inbound delay. Elston to the junction, 21 minutes. Like Cook to Montrose, southbound 29. Kennedy, Effie Foster to the Burn Circle, an hour. O'Hare to downtown, 43 minutes from Montrose, 32 in the Express, outbound 29 to the airport. The Eisenhower is 50 minutes, 390 to downtown, 36 from Mannheim. Outbound, it is 35 minutes to 390. Stevenson, 54 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 35. Ryan, 30 minutes, 95th to the Loop. Lakeshore Drive, heavy southbound Montrose to North Avenue, northbound from the Stevenson to Jackson. Southbound Tri-State, still heavy Washington to 176, and Lawrence to the Bensonville Bridge. Northbound, stop and go 95th to 31st. Now from the Eisenhower to North Avenue. The Adams and Reagan tollways are fine. Northbound Veterans Memorial, 75th to the Reagan tollway. North Avenue to 290. Southbound 53, a bit tight Euclid Kirchhoff. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. We have fair skies right now, but the forecast tells us it will be cloudy, breezy, and mild this day, high near 48. Flurries continue overnight after midnight into the early morning hours, and a low of 27 and only a high of 28 tomorrow. Currently 34. Next news coming up at 9. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by In the Know with Wealth Management Group, hosted by Craig Bolanos. Heard Sunday mornings at 10.
You want more than just the headlines? Find out what's going on and what it means with me, Dennis Prager, this morning at 11, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. So a number of great stories told by the president and great Americans. Subject of those stories, either heroism or, unfortunately, in some cases, to profile a particular issue, families that were victimized by thugs, whether it's Kim Jong-un with the Warren Bear family or those two families who lost their daughters to MS-13 gangbangers.
Yeah, kids who were here illegally.
Well, that's right. To put a fine point on the immigration issue and the immigration proposal, the DACA border security compromise deal that the president restated yesterday during the speech. A lot of good stories, and we'll get to those. But Joe Kennedy III.
What's up with that? I mean, he was standing in front of a wrecked car. Why would you ever stand, if your last name's Kennedy, in front of a wrecked car?
Yeah, in Fall River, Massachusetts. Here's Joe Kennedy indicting the Republican Party for presenting a false choice. Listen to this. And in addition to the Fighting Irish having to be redacted as the mascot for Notre Dame, the leprechaun eliminated, this is your 21st century Democrat Party. If you're voting for any Democrat, you're voting for Joe Kennedy III and the fourth generation of inbreeding that comes along with him.
The parent who lies awake, terrified that their transgender son or daughter will be beaten and bullied at school is any more or less legitimate than a parent whose heart is shattered by a daughter in the grips of an opioid addiction. So here is the answer that Democrats offer tonight. We choose both.
He's trying to be caring and significant and fired up, and it doesn't work. I mean, he was reading off a teleprompter, and then he had this vat of Vaseline on his face that was such a distractant.
He used...
Someone said it was chapstick. I think it was Vaseline because it's a little more gooey.
He shouldn't have used Nixon's makeup guy from the 1960 CBS debate. That was a mistake. And an ironic one at that. Yeah, the transgender, the opioid.
Oh, come on.
It
just felt so forced and so unauthentic.
Could you be any more tied up in knots over identity politics?
Well,
and how is that unifying? It's the opposite. It's fork-tongued. You talk about identifiers and then unity, and of course the only group that they're not interested in being all for would be Christians or white guys, except white guy limousine leftists like Joe Kennedy III.
Real quick, I just wanted to squeeze in here. We had our two congressmen, Danny Davis, Bobby Rush. They had a viewing event party on the West Side last night. Jan Schakowsky also didn't go, but she wasn't at their event. And here's Congressman Bobby Rush.
I'm frankly offended that this liar in the White House attempts to take credit for work and accomplishment that's already been realized.
So
that was a stinging indictment.
I know that he's a liar and he's taking credit for what President Obama did.
What did President Obama do? Well, that's, of course. What is the point of asking Bobby Rush a question? Verlin on the South Side, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
I'm so proud of my president. He hit all the high notes. He explained to the world how strong we are, how resolute we are, and what we really stand for in our hearts. He put the marker down to the Democrats, put them between a rock and a hard place. If they don't compromise and take this deal, they'll be the bad guys and we'll be the good guys. And this guy, this baby Kennedy, he's playing the same Democrat playbook, fear-mongering. The best thing about seeing Kennedy last night on TV was that I know and the world knows now that the Kennedy legacy is dead, right along with the Clintons' legacy. And seeing her on the Grammys, we know now her legacy is dead. Both of the two families, the Democrat top families, are dead.
Thanks for the call, Verlin. Moen in Willowbrook.
Hi, Dan and Amy. I think one of the most refreshing things I thought about the State of the Union last night was you didn't hear the word I or me as we've heard over the last 7 or 8 years. It was we the people. And I thought that was actually pretty good. And as far as Kennedy, I thought maybe he had borrowed that car from Chappaquiddick yesterday.
Exactly. Yeah. Thanks for the call, Owen.
Horrible visual.
Well,
I mean, it's almost comical. It's so bad.
312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line if you want to weigh in. Because it was so story-focused, it necessarily had to be other regarding. And so I think it served Trump's interests well, and I think it was an appropriate State of the Union speech. People want to say, I mean, Bernie Sanders, how can you have a State of the Union speech and you don't address climate change? Okay. But even serious economic issues, financial stability issues, you just don't have the bandwidth to go into painful detail about numbers, frankly, and better ways to illustrate your positions, your principles, and then how those are translated into positions or proposals is to, accentuate them with an actual human experience because, oh, by the way, that's what politics is about.
Right.
Serving other human beings.
Yep.
That's what it should be about. So I thought the stories, and there's a lot of stories told, but they were well told because they're compelling stories.
So when he talked about the two girls, a 15-year-old and a 16-year-old, Kayla and Nisa, who are walking home, and they're an example of why some people should not be here illegally. And you could just the pain that the families felt, and the way President Trump told the story, he said, and they are not coming home. And there's nothing more final than death, and that to me was just resounded across the country.
No, there were a couple of heart-wrenching moments, and it was when those two families stood up and they're crying, and then the Warmbier family too. And the thing is, like, when you see the fathers crying too, that's just like, oh, that is tough. I mean, I'm not taking anything away from the moms, but it's just like, when you, it's just, those were tough moments, but important moments.
It didn't have to happen because we should have kicked them out.
And the point too is that people say he's unfairly comparing Dreamers to MS-13. No, he's not.
All of MS-13.
He's not. He's saying that there are people here illegally who are violent criminals, and why can't you Democrats separate people who have bad intentions and have committed bad acts from people here who haven't? That's the point. You say you do. You say you want to, but you don't. You don't when you have a sanctuary city, when you have a sanctuary state. You don't when you say, by invoking problems like gang members from MS-13 that are here illegally, that's treating everybody who is brought here by their parents illegally as a gang member. No, it isn't. We can make distinctions based on the individual. The Democrats can't, because what they have is a group of mascots, and they don't want a deal. They want a demagogue. David in McCook, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, good morning, guys. You were talking about Bobby Rush earlier. Every time he speaks, he calls the president a racist, and it wasn't that long ago. I remember him on the news calling Mark Kirk an elitist white boy. That sounds pretty racist to me.
Thanks for the call, David. Yeah, by the way, there's this other story that's been underreported, shocking. The number of Democrats who met with Louis Farrakhan, who's a renowned anti-Semite. It first bubbled up to the surface when a photo of Obama and Farrakhan was published, and it was held by the photographer past the 2008 election. But Wall Street Journal opined on this week about the photographic journalist who told Talking Points Memo that he held the photo. But then also other members of the Black Caucus who also participated with Farrakhan, who, of course, has said, among other things, that Judaism is a gutter religion. That's Louis Farrakhan. And where's the reckoning for the association between members of the Congressional Black Caucus and a virulent, hateful anti-Semite like Louis Farrakhan? I mean, it's really, that's a remarkable story. It's an underreported story. And now juxtapose that against what you saw last night when lowest black unemployment rate since it's been tracked, and Congressional Black Caucus sitting on their hands because Jay-Z said they can't stand up and applaud. Chuck and Delavan.
Yeah, but you notice that Farrakhan, when he was sick, he went straight to Cedar-Sinai Hospital to get taken care of by the Jewish doctors there. My thing is blatant racism towards Corey, the welder. There was a black guy there,
right.
and he, hard worker, lost his job, went to school, ended up going to work for this company, and made that company successful. And the guy said that he was the best welder that he had. And we've seen this last year when we watched when all the black and also Democratic people sat and they watched Ryan Williams's his wife up there when she, the Navy guy that was killed. This is when we first saw that. This is why our country's so divided, and it's very sad that they won't even acknowledge that black man that worked hard. I don't know if they figured it was like Uncle Tomism or what. I don't know, but that was something that I didn't like, and thank you very much.
Thanks, Chuck. Kurt in Park Ridge.
I enjoyed the whole speech, but my favorite part of the whole night is when Congressman Gutierrez ran out of there when they were saying USA, USA. He was like a vampire fleeing sunlight. He couldn't get out of there fast enough.
Yeah,
it was
but
awesome.
Kurt, I mean, I think you're probably operating under the same assumption I am, that he must have had a family emergency, and that's why he had to leave at that time.
No, I'm not operating under that.
All right.
So the
Thanks,
camera
Kurt.
actually caught him running out, huh?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, the USA, it was hurting his ears, I presume.
Right, they're bleeding.
El Gallito, very sensitive. Dawn in Plainfield.
Hi, good morning. I think that these politicians have just been there way too long and have lost touch with reality. I think the best thing about the speech yesterday was it put some tangibility to their policies, that their policies have consequences, and it touches real families. And I think that was the strongest point about his speech, especially the last individual from Korea. I think it really put an emphasis on how people fight for freedom and what that really looks like. And I think that was the strongest point of the night.
There's no question about it. Thanks for the call. That was I've said this a couple times now, and I'll say it again, because if people can remember other moments, there were great moments last night, great stories. I don't remember a more triumphant moment of defiance as a statement for freedom than that young man from North Korea. And after Trump told his unbelievable story, I mean, unbelievable story, and him holding up those crutches, this kid now in Seoul, South Korea, trying to get, word to people in North Korea and get more people to defect out. So paying it forward after all that he's been, and him holding those crutches up and shaking those crutches over his head. How awesome was that? If you weren't moved by that moment, then you don't
have a heart or soul.
Well, and you don't believe in liberty.
Yeah.
Honestly, it was incredible. I can't remember a more triumphant moment during a State of the Union speech ever.
Well, you captured the real oppression going on in North Korea and the torture and the hell that they go through.
It's difficult to put into words. It was just so powerful. It was almost like something you expect out of Hollywood, not in a political speech. Joanne at Midway.
Hi. Yes, I agree with the crutches thing. The only thing I was afraid of was that he was going to hit the lady. But my favorite part of Trump's speech, and I think he hit and smacked sanctuary cities in the face, is when he says, no more catch and release.
Yeah, thanks for the call, Joanne. John in Barrington.
Hey, good morning. Sorry I missed the event last night. It sounded like a great time. Quick question and a comment. What was El Gallito wearing? Did he grab a drape last minute from his office?
He had the same Christian Dior suit on that Melania was wearing.
Yeah, right. The white one.
Oh, good. And then somebody's got to tell Rep. Kennedy that go to Wendy's after the speech. Have a great day.
Thanks, Tom.
Will at Skokie.
Hey,
The part that I loved was especially the networks. I went back and forth between the different networks, and the cameras, when he would make points, the cameras were going to the Black Caucus, like when he was talking about black unemployment, and the Black Caucus is sitting there looking like, we hate this man.
Yes.
And they went to Pelosi. Pelosi looked like she was stroking out. And there was actually some points where he made some things, and Schumer applauded, which was very interesting.
I think Pelosi was having like a fix it and forget it problem.
Yeah, the whole thing is we're just letting the bright light of reality shine on people, and people are seeing the Democrats as they really are, and that's the important thing, I think.
But it was
Thanks,
weird.
Will.
President Trump shook Dickie Durbin's hand on the way in. I don't know. I thought that was like, what's going on, huh?
Well.
I just had a little level of respect there.
Pro forma. What are you going to do? What are you going to do with that?
Yeah.
To right hook him when you're walking up to the dais? Mark in Des Plaines.
You know, this guy was more conservative than Reagan, and I loved Reagan. But I'll tell you the best thing about it was he was in their faces. The Democrats have shoved so much crap down our throats for so many years, it's unbelievable. And the best part of the speech was at the end, when he talked about how those jokers in Congress work for us. Don't you ever forget it, children. These jerks work for us. We don't work for them. They're not our bosses. They're not our lords. And just remember, there's only one God, and it's not them.
Thanks for the call, Mark.
There's only one radio show in Chicago talking about today's biggest stories and telling you what they really mean. That show is this one, Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I'm Mark Gastineau. I played in the NFL for 10 years. I was diagnosed with CTE, with dementia, Alzheimer's, and Parkinson's. The fruits and vegetables that we take from Balance of Nature is the best thing that we could ever do. And I'm calling in now to order extra because of my wife has been taking mine because she sees the difference in me. It is a wonderful thing that Balance of Nature is doing. I hear the testimonies on the radio, but I'm a testimony for myself. And the fruits and vegetables, if I don't take them every single day, my day is not going to go the same. So God bless you, and thank you for what you've done for my wife and I.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first month's order and ship it to you free. Call 800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Looking to secure financing on a new home or refinance your existing home? Then you need to call Team Hochberg. Supporting veterans is our passion. That's why we support Veteran Roasters, a Chicago coffee roaster that hires homeless and chronically unemployed veterans. If you'd like to help create jobs for homeless veterans, visit veteranroasters.com and purchase a 12-ounce bag of coffee roasted and ground by once homeless and unemployed veterans. The coffee's delicious, and the profits are reinvested in hiring additional homeless veterans. Use promo code Team Hochberg to save 50% off the second bag you purchase. If you're a veteran securing a VA loan and would like to work with a local lender who supports veterans, call Team Hochberg now at 312-751-1333 or visit am560david.com. Team Hochberg has helped thousands of AM560 listeners, but we can't help if you don't call 312-751-1333 or visit am560david.com. Pearl Mortgage and Equal Housing Lender, Illinois Residential Mortgage Licensee 4358 and MLS 19186.